What is up, everyone? What is up? Or I guess now that we're on, what is it? Shuao Huang Shu, Ni Hao, bitches. I guess that's how we're just gonna start the streams all the time. What's up? How's it going this, Thursday? We're about to get that TGIF in tomorrow. Hooray! Hooray! Yeah, I, officially put my, first video post up on Shuao Hong Shu, Red Note. I find it interesting how y'all are translating it to Red Note when I think it'd just be a little bit more of a pow! F you government move to just call it the Little Red Book. I'm not a communist, but if it means pissing off the government, then fine. What's up, Player X? Where you was yesterday? I miss you. What do you mean yesterday? It's Thursday. I stream on Thursdays. Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. Every other day is an extra day. Yeah. And then I've been cleaning up the house slowly. Also getting back into the flow of work. And if you look in the background here, you can see the space is slowly getting cleaned up. So one of the things I'm looking forward to doing is cleaning up the top 3 shelves of these shelves here, clean them off of dust, everything like that. Get this entire workspace cleaned up, sweep the floors, all that, organize my tools, and clean up the bar area. I could probably knock that all out in a day if I actually just sit down and focus. And then I already cleaned my room. Yes, I cleaned my room. Go clean your room, bitches. But yeah, clean my room. I can see my floor. There is more than enough room on the floor now in front of the TV and everything that the dogs have been wrestling with each other. It's been fun to see. And now there's room at the top of my stairs where I feel like I don't have to like scrunch in, because I left a bunch of my computer parts from when I originally built this up there. When my little workspace and everything used to be up in my room before I started clearing things, moving it out, got the sewer pipe repaired and everything. So, yeah, I've been cleaning the tinkering space just slowly. I haven't gotten to this spot yet, so it's still a mess. There's still stuff all over, but I've been trying to clean that. I've been fighting with my insurance company also because, I don't know how to say this other than I'm just going to come out and say it. I have been dealing with some health issues for the past couple of months, physical and mental, and we're working on some things, but right now I'm in a situation where work just had some of the insurance stuff changed, and it doesn't cover a couple of my medications. I'm fighting with them to get it, and we're talking like this medication, if I have to pay out of pocket, is $600 a month. So the honest truth is I'm in a rock and a hard place, because I need to figure out how to pay that. So I have some side projects I'm working on, but I'm also wanting to put my nose to the grindstone on making content, because the way I worked it out, I've gone through some of my financial friends and everything. They explained to me, if I take this business I have here... Hey! Spiritus! Thank you for the raid! I appreciate you! Happy hacking, everybody! My name's Moshe. We do cybersecurity, IT, Linux, gaming on Linux, and a whole bunch of different stuff. And thank you all for raiding me, Spirit Hiss. Everyone, give a follow to Spirit Hiss. Is there a way I can do the... Trying to remember the command. Trying to remember the command. Is it /SO? No, wait, no. SO Spirit. Yes, is that it? God damn it. I gotta remember my, there we go. Is that it? There we go. Cool, cool. I got the right command in. Sorry. I've been working on redoing the bot and everything like that, so I kind of forgot what I reprogrammed my commands to. Friends don't let friends drink and root. Just make that very clear here. Once the admin has gone past 3 glasses of wine, thou shalt shut thy machine down. I gotta go to university. Hope you have a good stream tomorrow. Hey, Prisms. Good luck at uni tomorrow. Hope you do well. You have an exam or something? No, it's too early in the quarter. But either way, do well. Have a great day. Study well. Stay in school. Thank you so much. Hope your stream has been going well. Actually, we just started. Like, we're only in, like, not even the first 8 minutes of this. So, yeah, really great. You're in a good vibe tonight. Well, I was gonna say something, but it was gonna be a really dick thing. But I'm just gonna say it. You know when you have those relatives that you really don't like, and then they die? May I ask who the best creator is to follow to learn how to build a home network? I'm a good one to follow to learn how to build a home network. I eventually plan to make some YouTube content covering that. Adjacent Node is also a good creator to cover a lot of that stuff. Kernel Dump. I got a lot of different tech creators I follow. Like, a lot of us could talk about networking and stuff like that. The one issue is that you're commenting on TikTok, and most of us are not going to be here after Sunday, I think the ban is. So if you are wanting to follow any creators, I know some of those creators are on Shuao Hongshu right now, Red Note, so you can go follow them on there. Some of them, like myself, are on YouTube, maybe Blue Sky, Mastodon, things like that. Of course, we also have the Discord server you're more than welcome to join. So you can join our Discord server. No charge, no gimmicks, just good vibes, lots of great people, talking tech, and a bunch of random shenanigans. Yeah, go follow the Discord. The ban is postponed. I don't think it's postponed because I thought Tom Cotton did something. Hold on, because I said something to Tom Cotton on Blue Sky. Well, not on Blue Sky because I don't think he's on Blue Sky, but I thought Tom Cotton objected and banned the stuff. Money down there, one could eat, getting money in the dick. I'm even counting when I sleep. Wake up and getting bread, bitch. I do this for the streets. ADHD. Thank you for that sub there, Just Dev. Thank you. 6 months. You've been around for a while. But yeah, Tom Cotton, I thought, hold on, was it the TikTok ban? I remember reading about it when I was at work, maybe. Trump considers executive order hoping to save TikTok from ban or sale in U.S. law. That's all he's talked about. But the Biden administration, as of right now, hasn't done anything. And here's the dumb thing. If Biden lets Trump get the win, that's going to look really bad on Democrats. Yeah, Cotton killed the... Oh, yeah, that's right. You posted it in my Discord. So let me pull that link up on Discord. Yeah, he made his whole objection there and everything. And then, oh, yeah. Hold on. And then I made my response back. If you weren't on Blue Sky or Mastodon or anything like that, I made this post a little while ago. What's up, Zoom Zoom? How's it going? Dear Senator Cotton, Senator Tom Cotton, my mother taught me if I can't say anything nice, then I should say it in Yiddish. So I made that in Yiddish. Let me translate this for you, because I always forget the exact translation. I had to get Yitz to confirm that I even spelled like a bunch of that right, because Yiddish is not my forte. I had to I had to look up a few words. Okay, so that literally translates into, he should have 100 houses, in each house 100 rooms, and in each room 20 beds, and a Deerlander... I don't know why it translated that, but it's basically a severe fever should drive him from bed to bed. Basically meaning, I wish you to go insane. You're a TikTok refugee at PixelFed. I like PixelFed. I have a PixelFed. So those of you that do want to follow me, you can always go to pix.chiefgeek3d.com. I'm the only account on that server. But the honest truth is I've been liking Shuao Huangshu. And this is one thing I've been wanting to talk about for a little while here. Okay, so have y'all actually played with the Red Note app? Have y'all played with this app? So this is my profile on here. Have you found anything to do captions in Mandarin? I was using CapCut for now. CapCut seems to be the only one that allows you to do bilingual captions. If you open up Shuao Huangshu, you'll see on my latest post how it looks. Anyway, the thing I really blew me away about this platform was just navigating through it, the UI, the UX, fucking amazing. Like, I was surprised looking at this app, and it clicked in my head a little while ago that if you've been seeing on my Blue Sky or Mastodon, and if you're on Threads where I cross-post to things, but I'm barely engaging there, Mastodon and Blue Sky are better, just make that clear. You'll see that I actually been railing on all day, and to be clear, it wasn't because I had a lot of time. Well, I did have a lot of time on my hands, because I was waiting for people to get back to me on different tasks. So I was sitting there twiddling my thumbs for a lot of different things. So I had a whole bunch of rants. I had to use ChatGPT to clean these out, because I had so many things in there. But there are a few topics in here I did want to talk about as well, overall. Which, by the way, this meme fucking had me cackling. You got Trump over here, his inaugural portrait. Looks like Vigo the Carpathian. Okay, let's go back. Number one, number two. Number one, number two. You gotta tell me they look like the same, aren't they? Okay. You're my first follower. I think you were on that platform. Search Biden to defer TikTok law implementation to Trump. Yeah, but again, this is the one thing I have to tell y'all. Trump isn't president yet. Trump, like he does with a lot of things, can say a whole bunch of shit. And then, when he actually sits down, can choose not to do anything. How many times have we heard Donald Trump say one thing and do a complete different thing? This is the same guy that said he wanted to ban TikTok 4 years ago. I don't trust that guy as far as I can throw him. And before some of you go, that's Trump derangement syndrome. No. This is just logical, rational individual. If a person comes to you and has done so many different things in so many different ways that there's no consistency, how can one actually faithfully rely on them to actually follow through on it? Ghostbusters looking ass. So yeah, the master portions will probably radicalize some people. Absolutely. So when people start getting deported, Trump got sued in New York. Thought he already was sued for something else. Or is this something new? What's the new situation? But anyway, let me put it this way. Do you know how many situations I've heard of people that have voted for Trump and they had illegal parents? Or undocumented, whatever word you want to say, okay? Either way, look, some of my family came here illegally, too, okay? It's a thing. It's accepted. They illegally crossed. It's not the way they're supposed to do it. I remember we shipped one of my cousins back over and then said, come back the right way! We're Moroccan. But anyway, I have heard from a lot of people of different stories of the first generation that came into this country that could actually legally vote, told their parents they voted for Trump, and the parents are like, you know he wants to deport us, right? Or I've heard this several times where a guy votes for Trump, has an undocumented girlfriend. Didn't think of that one, did ya? That's the problem, I think, with a lot of the people that have actually been voting the way that they have in this election, is I think a lot of people were voting based on reactionary things rather than actually thinking logically. No matter, this is how I always look at everything in politics, okay? You know, whenever they have on, you know, the picture D, person name, that, I cover up the party. If y'all forget about the fucking party whenever you vote, and then just look directly at what that motherfucker stands for, you will vote right every time. And I don't mean right as in, you know, left versus right. I mean, you will vote in the right position for your heart every time. Don't vote based on title. Vote based on what they actually fucking believe in. And that's why everyone is shocked when they say, like, where do you lean? And I'm like, bro, every election, I vote amongst all four parties. Every election for the various different seats. City council, judges, board, you know, the school boards, see what the different parties are endorsing, but the school boards normally don't have a politicized position, so then I can actually look at the candidates and what they stand for. I mean, like, I think this year I actually voted for the Libertarian for the senator. I think. I don't remember what my own ballot was. I think I did. No, yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. And the reason why was... Who was... I think it was Dawn. Was it Dawn that was on the... Hold on. Senator. I think it was because I actually knew the Libertarian candidate from my days in college. And he was a good dude. Let's see. Where the hell was it? I could have sworn. Was it Don Kissick? I think it was. Yeah, it was Dawn. Okay. Yeah, okay. Anyway. Okay, MCB217944. How do you feel about Israel? How do you feel about walking in to a chat where we're not even discussing Israel whatsoever? And asking that question. Now, what would make you drive immediately to that specific topic? I just want to ask you, I want you to ask yourself, what made you come into the chat and discuss that specific topic? Thank you for the follow, Eds. Ed's fourth? That's not your fourth account. Did you get banned that many times? I'm kidding, sorry. Ready to level up like our tech, talk like Ed and Eddie. I like this bot that I have. But I actually did want to make a YouTube video in the near future talking about this kind of thing. The reality is, since you hate Trump so much, bro, what the fuck did... Again, what makes you want to discuss the subject of Israel? Wherever have we discussed in this entire stream right now of the past 21 minutes about the subject of Israel? God, I really need to add Jeopardy music to my soundboard. I want you to think critically about that. And let me make this fucking clear. I hate pretty much every politician, not just Trump. Hey, hate's a strong word. Strongly disdain. Did just bring up Israel a bit ago as a side tangent. In what regard was I talking about Israel? Because I don't think I've mentioned anything specifically in that whole... I'm trying to think, what did I actually... I don't think I did. Maybe a little... Oh, right. Oh, no. My family is Moroccan. I said we ship them back to Morocco. That was in Israel. Okay? Moroccan. Yes, I do have some family in Israel, but that was a Moroccan reference. But, it's probably they sponsor the majority of politicians. No, that's not how it works. the other countries can't just directly sponsor those. And here's the reality while you're talking about Israel. You know who the #1 donator for Zionist causes is? We've talked about this on many streams. All right. Evangelical Christians. You have a problem with this whole fucking discussion? Go talk to them. Because you take every fucking one of us Jews out of this entire discussion. Have every one of us say, no, we won't support Israel. We still wouldn't be a drop in the bucket in terms of the overall Zionist support of, things. Just make that very clear for you. So once again, don't come into a Jewish person's stream when we're clearly not talking about Israel to inject a discussion about Israel. I'm tired of this happening every fucking stream. It is as upsetting as it was to a lot of my Moroccan cousins that were here on 9/11 that got harassed about those towers, even though they obviously had nothing to do with it. They just happened to be brown and Moroccan. Deadass didn't know you were Jewish. Well, now you do. Why is it upsetting? Because y'all jump in my streams when I'm mostly a tech creator and then just talk about Israel. And right now, what are we talking about? We're talking about the TikTok ban. We're talking about how Elon Musk crashed out in Path of Exile 2. We are talking about how Trump looks like Vigo the Carpathian from Ghostbusters. That's about where our conversation was. We talked about how I believe that Senator Tom Cotton should have 100 houses, in each house 100 rooms, and in each room 20 beds, and a Daryl Linder fever should drive him from bed to bed, basically saying, I hope you go insane. But today's your birthday? Happy birthday! Yeah, I talk about being Jewish, but... Okay. Big brain time, MCB. Big brain time! What does someone being Jewish, their religion, who happens to be in a whole other country, not even country, whole other freaking continent, and there's this entire thing spreading them called an ocean, have to do with another nation with political issues in Israel? What does my religion have to do with the political issues of a country overseas? Answer that. Does the Talmud also say there's also things about non-Jews? The Talmud is a bunch of frickin' arguments from thousands of rabbis that go back and forth bickering like a bunch of old Jewish men. No joke. Seriously. You go to Talmud, this is what you'll need to understand about Talmud. Talmud is basically just a bunch of arguments from different rabbis. You go into Talmud, you find one tractate, they say this. You look down, you find another rabbi opposing their opinion. You look down, you have another rabbi with a different perspective. As the saying goes, there's 72 perspectives on the Torah, and they're all correct. That's actually why, in Judaism, you study with a partner to learn the different perspective of how they see the scripture that you're studying, so that you don't get trapped into a monolithic view that you believe that this is the only way the world can work. You're supposed to learn about all the different various shades of gray that exist in this entire world and be able to put put another shoes on your feet and walk in their shoes and see the perspective. They literally have a Supreme Court of rabbis to decide different things. Well, there's different Beit Dins for different traditions. You've got Sephardi ones, you've got Ashkenazi ones, there's a whole different court system and everything. Actually why we're heavy on judges. In fact, fun fact, we will go into politics. The whole reason that Israel was almost close to a civil war over Netanyahu is traditionally judges are pretty much sacrosanct in our religion. And Netanyahu was going to overturn and pull a lot of power from the judicial branch in the Israeli government that would have actually allowed him to push through a lot more of his fascist ideas, because the courts of Israel were striking down a lot of Bibi's attempts at doing things, and the courts were protecting a lot of the Palestinian rights as well, and he didn't like that. Can we talk about this damn TikTok ban? Yeah. Like if you can use modified pig's hearts for transplants. Okay, let me give you an easy understanding when it comes to saving a life in Judaism. In Judaism, there are only 3 things that are prohibited in the course of saving another person's life. There's only 3 things. No sexual sins, no idolatry, no murder. And there's definitions around murder. It's self-defense is not murder. Make that very clear. We're talking cold-blooded killing. If you can avoid doing those 3 things, everything is permitted. You're starving, you need to eat, and all there is pig, you eat the damn pig. Make that very clear for you? So, pig hearts, things like that, that's fine. It's saving a life. Why did Jewish intellectuals overthrow the Tsar? That has to do more with the political thing. And the reality is, there were also a lot of non-Jewish people in the whole Bolshevik Revolution and everything. Also, if y'all know about the history of the Tsar, not the best relationship with his people. Do you have to do anything after consuming pig in that scenario? No, it's a life-saving situation. Life-saving situations are exempt from everything. So, for example, like if you have an ultra-Orthodox Jew, you know, one of the ones you see with the bindle, the robe, the strimel, you know, the whole thing, the curls, all that, the Hasidic Jews, you see them? Okay, let's say they see someone. They're on their way to synagogue. They see someone dying on the side of the road. They are required by Jewish law to turn on their cell phone if they have it with them or do something and get help immediately. In fact, there's an entire emergency service around the ultra-Orthodox Jewish areas called Hatzalah. Yeah, Hatzalah. Magen David Adom is something different. And Hatzalah services the entire Jewish community as well as any non-Jews that are in the area that do have the means to actually access the resources. Interesting story about Hatzalah is also, they were one of the first groups that actually were on site to the Twin Towers crash. You know, when that whole happened, there was actually a story of an anti-Semitic fire captain that prevented them from getting in, so they just stood underneath the underpass waiting for them to get allowed in, and then the tower collapsed. That entire fire crew died, but they were just under the underpass because they weren't allowed in. I learned that story directly from Hatzalah when I was in New York to visit and see what they were all about. I was like a teenager at the time. Yeah, Hatzalah is completely free. It's all run by donations. I actually donate to them when I can. Everybody is pretentious. I would. That is a funny autocorrect thing. Can you show us them? Hatzalah. Let's see. Hold on. Hatzallah. Okay. So Hatzalah is a network of different things all across the entire world. There's Hatzallahs like in Chicago, like everywhere there's a major Jewish community, there's usually a Hatzalah. So you usually, if you go to the Jewish community, someone has the number, you keep it on there because oftentimes they respond faster than ambulances. So yeah, you can find a bunch of these all around. They've got aircrafts, everything for proper medical care. Like they're a proper EMT system. And these guys walk into synagogues and their jobs with actual radios all the time on. So they're always ready to go and they just go. They have police also. So the police situation's a little bit different. They don't have their own police per se. They have their own police unit within the department. Just because a lot of the more Jewish areas, it's easier to get someone to come in, you know, like, that you can relate to. So, like, you know, like these cops will speak straight up Yiddish with you and all that stuff. You have to understand with a lot of the years that you've had the pogroms, the Holocaust, things like that, the community's not really been all too trusting of a lot of outsiders. You're not supposed to carry far too much effort. So there's all sorts of stipulations around there. There's really... Y'all need to actually, like, cite your sources when you say, like, why is really Masada just dancing while the towers collapsed? Bro, There were so many photoshopped things that happened after that event happened. And the reality is, people suck. Google it then. Bro, you're the one, like, making the claim. Your argument. Your job to prove your argument. But anyway, like I was saying, that NBC and the FBI investigated it. Yeah, and if there was no course... So here's the thing I gotta ask you. What would the Mossad be doing in New York? How would one prove that they are Mossad? And then also, there's like so many things that just don't add up in that entire sentence you said. Is it safe to post in Red? No, it's fine. It's no more dangerous than what you call it. Any other social media app. Why do people have contradictory negative ideas about Jews? Because a lot of people are ignorant assholes that don't understand the difference of... there are bad apples in every bunch, but that doesn't make every bunch bad. Like, yes, you can look at a bad apple from every single group and person, things like that. The problem is, I want you to think about this critically, all right, for a second here. Let's do a thought experiment here. I want you to think of every single stereotype that people throw negatively upon different races and things like that. Just think about it mentally. Don't have to say it. I want you to think about how they portray a lot of those things. Now, I want you to think of the things that they actually use to throw against Jews. And how many of those things actually would probably be a real negative thing. Let's break this down, okay? Let's go through a few. Oh, the Jews have all the money in the world. So the Jews are entrepreneurial and industrious and they know how to do business? Okay. The Jews are, the Jewish boys love their mothers too much, and the mothers are overbearing. Okay, so they have a mother that's involved in their life, and the son actually is supportive of the mother. Wouldn't most parents want a supportive child? As well as, wouldn't you want a parent that is involved in a child's life? Yes, I know we see the depictions of, like, Howard Wolowitz with Big Bang Theory and things like that, but I want you to think about the opposite. Which would you rather have as a child? You know, like, you go through all of these negative things, you start really, like, understanding a lot of it comes down to, well, I'm going to need to censor myself for this story. My family, on my mother's side, we've been in the country for about 100 years or so. My father's side, I'm first generation. My mother's side, my grandfather, may he rest in peace, was a tobacco salesman. He worked for Savinelli, big pipe company. That's why I have a lot of tobacco pipes, and I know so much about cigars and tobacco pipes and all that, because I used to spend so much time with my grandfather. Anyway, he used to live in Greensboro, North Carolina. This is the 60s. I want you to think about how tense the racial divisions were all around that time. And my grandfather, may he rest in peace, used to say, I don't care what color you are, as long as that color we deal in is green. He was one of the only businessmen in that area that would deal with the black community. He left that community as fast as possible because one night he came home and what was spray painted on his garage door was, "Get out, you..." Begins with N. Jewish slur. That was the entire statement on the garage door. Now, why were they upset at my grandfather? Because my grandfather was a really good businessman and he was doing a very nice business. Why? Because he was the one that didn't have the frickin' racist bone in his body and actually do business with a lot of the community that was underserved. So they got jealous that he was doing so well, had a nice house, and all this shit, and they just said, F that Jew. Whiteness in regards to Jews, whiteness is conditional. So I actually said that on Blue Sky earlier, a little bit earlier. Many bad... Bro, you can extrapolate that to any group. So many bad... Every single group has had their bad apples. The difference is that even when we ostracize them, call them out, and kick them out, we're still blamed for it. Do you really think any Jew really liked Bernie Madoff? Do you really think any Jew liked Jeffrey Epstein? After we learn about all those things? So at a certain point, you gotta wake up, smell the coffee, and realize every group has its bad apples, and by singling out one group as being worse than another, you're just playing into your own prejudice and not understanding that the common root of it all, we're all humans. And you know what humans do? They suck. People suck. I'd rather have dogs. Most Jews like Karl... This is where I know you're ignorant as hell, man. Most Jews like Karl Marx. Bro, we're dealing with one of the biggest freaking anti-communist schmucks that I don't even like, called Ben Shapiro. My God, you really are ignorant with how the world works and how different groups are, and the reality that amongst every group can have different views and perspectives. But with that being said, we're moving on. All right, so let's see. TikTok, got it. I don't know why the TikTok chat is breaking, but this app will be gone in a few days anyway. Oh, it wants me to restart the Firefox, that's why. Alright, let's see. I find it funny that, like, TikTok is, like, asking me to, add coins and stuff to my, account when this is about to be banned. Like, wonder, you know, Epstein got his $500,000. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Let me see, is there a pop-up chat that'll fix this? I'm trying to fix the damn... Hold on, let's do it this way. Let's see if I can. TikTok. Thank you, Dev. Yeah, Normandy's. I guess he's not going to talk about... Sorry, I was trying to figure out the chat. The chat kind of broke all of a sudden and disappeared. What do you think of the pirate software situation? You talking about where a bunch of people are getting butthurt over a fucking video game, and then Pirate Software apparently had most of the guild's materials and everything like that, and when the call was made to run, he ran? Yeah, y'all are getting too bent out of shape for a fucking video game. I am so thankful I never got into the World of Warcraft freaking addiction. I played that game for like 2 months in middle school. And then my parents told me, no game should cost me a monthly fee until you pay for this shit yourself. You're not paying for it. Okay. But anyway. Could we get back to the Red Note app? What about the Red Note app? No, well, Bezrat Hashem, from with God's help, I will hopefully be able to get Just Dev some proper payment. We're first going to work out on the so I got to figure out all the finances and everything with this possible TikTok ban, how it's going to affect everything. Because here's the thing: TikTok was about 1/4 to 1/2 of my creator income every single month. I haven't gotten paid yet from YouTube. I just got monetized like 2 months ago, but I haven't had any videos that even paid me a penny yet. So that's going to take some time. Rather Warframe. I need to get back into Warframe. Because I was like thinking about playing the First Ascendant, and the First Ascendant was pretty fun, but then like I heard a lot of people are dropping out because it's getting too grindy, and Oh, yeah, Red Note, UI. Okay, yeah, thank you. Thank you. Let's get this back on track. So, yeah, Red Note. By the way, Dev, any other mods, you see people starting up that anti-Semitic bullshit again, just mute and block. Move on. I want to focus on the tech discussions and everything. All right, so, let me finish my point on the plans with my content and everything, and then we'll swing back to the Shuao Huangshu Red Note. So I am planning on making more content on YouTube so that I can work on getting that monetized properly. I'm working on getting my Twitch consistent and everything. I'm working on seeing if I can get brand deals and everything going like that. Because as I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, some of you weren't here, I've been running into some health issues for the past few months. My doctor and I are trying to figure it out. We're going with a... I'm not going to get into too much in the weeds with it, but basically just say we're working on a prescription. We're working on also mental therapy for me to like process going through a lot of this stuff. Not dying or anything. Just make that very clear. Just it's not a fun time. It's also why you notice my kind of like with my moods, it has to do with my pain level and things like that. But anyway, I'm fighting with my insurance though for one of the medications, and they either want like $600 out of pocket if I don't get this appeal through, which then I have to figure out how to get the money, which is why I'm like working on getting the content creation to beef up so that I can start. The first time I pay myself money, to make this very clear, I have not paid myself anything from this entire creator endeavor. It's been going back into hardware and everything. Is what's the word? I'm gonna probably figure out giving myself secondary insurance through my LLC as the first thing I pay myself. GoFundMe, I don't really want to do GoFundMe. There's this whole thing of... I feel there are people that are more in dire need of that kind of medical help than I am myself. But the other issue is I need to make sure that I have the income on an ongoing basis for my health needs and everything like that. I can't just do a one and done. If it was like, hey, I got surgery, I need to raise money, all that kind of stuff, that'd be totally different. But in this case, it's just possibly 2 prescriptions I'm working on, all that. Pre-production for the streams. I don't know if you paid attention, but there is usually a general idea of what happens, and then there's this thing called ADHD that all plans go to shit because of. But yeah, so anyway, I'm working on getting more consistent with my YouTubes and working on the different content and everything around there. It's just been a struggle to, one, clean up my entire workspace to be where I'm comfortable doing a lot of these things and have the space to do it. 2, just getting in the headspace to make a lot of that content. Because, like, as it is, like, Twitch is one of the few things I can kind of get into and do a little bit of planning and then get into it. I spammed in the Daily Nails and TikTok live to nationalize healthcare. And they hate so much they don't like to hate. But yeah, so I'm working on all those different things. I don't know if you can stream on Red Note. Wait, where did the hold on. Move the chat over here. What does it say? What did it say? People keep putting in medical GoFundMes at the work cafeteria. Yeah, I can believe that. You can go live at least. I saw a girl started ordering her meds from the EU. Paying for a box is less as much as half a dose. No, Yitz is going to Portugal. That's an idea. That is an idea. So when my dad used to live in Germany, he used to buy all my asthma medications in Germany and then bring them back, and he'd come back with like 6 months of inhalers and stuff. And he'd get them for like $5 a piece. I think it was like, what it broke down to 5 or 10. Of course, this was like a few years ago, so prices can be different and everything like that. But yeah, I'm curious. You can go live? How do you go live? Because, like, the thing is, a lot of the buttons are in Mandarin. Shit. No shit. There is a live mode here. Okay, it's just all the way to the right. So one interesting thing about this is that Shao Hongshu lets you go live without having a prerequisite number of followers. Interesting. The one issue that I have with Shao Hongshu, yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't. I have like only like not even 50 followers on Shao Hongshu right now, and it let me the live option was right there. Because if you have you ever tried to go live on TikTok before you have the 1,000 or whatever followers, it tells you don't have the requisite requirements or stuff like that. So yeah, it looks like you can go live from there. They have a web version also, but it's so well. That's the same thing with TikTok. TikTok, if you remember, I mean, it's still craptastic, don't get me wrong, the web UI. But TikTok web UI was absolute garbage. It still is garbage. But it was garbage to begin with, because you have to understand something. Chinese culture is very, very, very mobile-centric. To the point, and I've had confirmation of this, from one of my cousins. He was in, he taught as a professor in Shanghai. That's where he was. He told me QR codes for everything. Cybersecurity nightmare. I am not scanning a QR code without knowing where it goes. That's already the freaking first culture shock right there. Number two, when it comes to China, it asks for your location, but you don't necessarily have to give your location. I've seen it ask for my location in several points. I, of course, do not give my location for obvious reasons. But also with the Chinese culture, they pay with their phones. And when I say they pay with their phones, they pay with their phones. Like, everything is done out of your phone. If your phone's not charged and you can't use your phone, you oftentimes can't order, pay for food, everything like that. They pay with Palm, Face. Yeah, they have like so many different things. But, yeah, and with the Shuao Huangshu app, the one thing I'm going to be very, very careful about is that content is going to be very different than a lot of the content I normally put out. I can't talk about VPNs on there. I can't talk about Tor on there. I can't talk about a lot of the things I normally do. I'm not going to be political on there. It's going to be a very clean, pared down version of a lot of my content. Which is going to be interesting. Because the actual people in China that are going to see my content. So it's funny you mentioned Bilibili. I actually was talking to them, I think it was a year ago or so, and then conversations kind of stalled out and everything like that. But I've been entertaining that idea of being on Bilibili. But here's the also other interesting part is I've also been working on some side projects and everything. If my content creation as well as my side projects start doing well, one thing that is, in fact, on my bucket list that I've always wanted to do, always wanted to go to Shenzhen. There's two places in the world I've particularly wanted to go to for my absolute nerdy geekiness. Akihabara, Japan, and Shenzhen, China. They are the tech capitals. Well, I also want to go to Computex. And I was talking to Yitz about this, and if these side projects that I have end up doing well enough as we think they are, from my lips to God's ears, I hope to be at DEF CON this year. I hope to be at B-Sides Las Vegas this year. I hope to attend TwitchCon this year. And I also hope to make it to CES next year. Be very careful in China, though. Y'all don't know how I roll when I travel. If I go into China, I would be going down with slimmed down devices. And one thing I do know that I want to do is if I do well enough with content, I definitely want to take Just Dev on some trips with me, and he can do some editing and stuff on the go. Yeah. Get a jammer. Don't want me to get arrested? Some dude on stream said they don't have strip clubs. Okay, so it depends on the province. From what my cousin told me, it depends on the province, and you sometimes have to go to the more shady areas. So keep that in mind. But there is a whole, like, let me put it this way. If I'm in China, I ain't doing anything to get me in trouble. I am there to record content, talk about food, do some techie things. But here's the thing. Have y'all seen the Shenzhen tower that I'm talking about? The Shenzhen Electronics? Hold on. Let me see if I can show you this. Someone made a shopping guide. There's books and all this. Like, you can literally buy books. Hold on. This is from 2019. No, hold on. Here we go. The Essential Guide to Electronics in Shenzhen, from Andrew Bunny Huang. So they literally have a book of traveling and finding different things. Now this is a little bit older. So you got like little translation guides, so you know if you're looking for different things. Like, if you think... Can I find a video? Hold on. Let me see if I can find Stranger Parts video or something like that. Have y'all seen these towers? Try building a phone from scratch over there. Bro, Stranger Parts has already done that. Alright, so let me see if I can find... It's an older video of his, like around the time I first found Stranger Parts. He had this whole walkthrough. Okay, here we go. Skip this ad in 1 second. Point a while ago that Apple is going to realize one day that they still need to make line go up on stocks. Get back. Just Dev. Make a note. This is going to be a clippable video right now. Did you hear that Apple installed AI tracking in the latest iOS? It sends data to Apple. It's activated on default. Remember that a few streams ago, not even then, I said the most valuable thing that any tech company has is your data. And Google has from the beginning sold your data that they've collected on your devices to make money. And Apple's claim to fame has been they guard your privacy. They won't, gather your data more than you need or anything like that. And I said, one day Apple's going to realize they need to make line go up on the stock market, because that's the goal of everything in the stock market. You got to make more money for the investors, the shareholders. And Apple is sitting on all of this data, and they're not doing anything with it. Eventually, Apple's going to wake up and say, huh, just been sitting on this gold mine the entire time here. Let's make some money off of it. We're not that far off if Apple's doing that kind of thing. Google, it doesn't surprise me. Apple, I said it was a matter of time. Microsoft, already doing it. Why do you think I'm such a proponent for open source technologies and why I urge a lot of people to check out alternatives? I use an iPhone myself, but even I've said, I hate Apple the least. I don't like it more than Google. I just hate it less than Google. And that's the thing we all have to wake up, is that eventually we need to make affirmative decisions on what we're going to do to control our data and how we're going to hand it off, or if we're just going to hand it off for free to everyone else. Because your data is the most valuable thing, and those tech companies, they know it, but you're a schmuck and say, ooh, free shiny, click button. That's the honest truth. So, Google is selling to China. I'm amazed there's no 2FA in China. MFA in China really shocks me. It really does. So, TikTok for the longest time didn't have proper MFA. Huangshu doesn't have MFA either. China's in this weird position that they are not advanced in some ways, but they're very advanced in other ways. And what I mean by that is, I went off tangent. The Huangshu, the UI, the UX, it's amazing. China really is ahead of the game in social media. China is really ahead of the game in a lot of technology. And I don't know why it was fucking rocket science for a lot of people to realize you got, 1.2, 1.3 billion people in the entire world? Statistically speaking, there's a lot of smart people over there. It was just only for a while China was held back due to some prior policies for the prior few decades. Now they're catching up. In order for the USA to keep competitive, Elon Musk was right. And so was Vivek Ramaswamy. We need H-1B visas. Because the problem we're having is we have all this knowledge. Poor countries are coming in. They are learning all this knowledge. Not complaining about that. They can do whatever. And they go back to their country and bring that knowledge. That's great. But in order to encourage that knowledge to stay here where we can have the country invest in it properly and everything, we need those visas and everything like that. So, but yeah. China's, weirdly enough, the Chinese people, their understanding of a lot of cybersecurity is different than the cybersecurity understanding that we have from the little interactions I've had with some of my peers over in China. Of course, I've had very, very, very limited interactions with them. Like I learned, Zscaler has their own B2B program for the Zscaler iOS app. I'm getting to that. And they primarily ship that because, so in China, you know, in China, VPNs aren't allowed, right? I think we all know this is common fact in this side of the cybersecurity and TikTok, IT and everything. Getting from Algeria, really gonna miss you. I'll miss all y'all too. But I'll still be on Twitch and all that. But in China, VPNs are illegal. Oftentimes, they can be blocked. The way businesses used to be allowed to do it was you had the VPN packaged for a business in the way Zscaler did, which is how they work. Because Zscaler does have assets in China, believe it or not. No Instagram? No. I'm not embracing Meta. Meta can go F themselves. After all they did to get TikTok shut down in this country. But Zscaler, I think, told me they only have like 9 or 10 customers in the entire company that actually use these business bundled packages they have, where the company themselves packages the iOS app in their own internal company store for iOS and then display it. We move into the hub. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. A certain hub. It goes we were thinking about making my content on there because there was someone that was making large language model and machine learning videos on the hub that was getting a lot more profitability off of her videos. Apparently, there's a whole issue with safe for work content on that site outclassing NSFW content because there's so little of it. What about X? I'm not on X. I haven't been on X in like close to a year and a half almost now. I'm on Blue Sky and Mastodon. The hub with the named people. Do you have to give a cell number to Red Note? So you don't necessarily have to. So when you sign up on the app, select the option login with password. You can just do email and password. You can have it log in with your Google account on your Google phone or Apple account on your Apple phone. It is going to require you to verify a phone number to access certain features. So I just gave it a burner VoIP number I use. Up with the name people. Long live Blue Sky. Yeah. You can make decent money if you play your cards right. I can't remember my real phone number. Yeah. The honest truth is, the data usage concerns of Shuaohuangshu are no worse than any other social media app. If your real concern is that another government is going to have that data, well, newsflash here. We just had our entire telecommunications network compromised in what was it, Salt Typhoon? China has your data already right now, and they're deep-throating it. No, but like, okay, so like, we'll get back to the Shenzhen video in a little bit. I do want to like show that, but like, blah 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 blah. So speaking on the adult thing, that reminded me. What does China have that the U.S. government doesn't? Healthcare for the people. Affordable EVs. Anyway. Okay, so I had a random thought earlier today. This was literally a shit post because I know I was on the toilet at that time. Random thought. Conservatives are pushing to ban, age via age gating and legislation. So when do they turn their outrage toward Twitter? After all, under Elon Musk, the platform still hosts a lot of explicit content. Where's the same energy? This isn't even a secret. Twitter is one of the largest hubs for adult content on the internet. It feels like selective outrage when the same people rage against platforms like TikTok, but conveniently ignore Twitter's content. If the goal is genuinely to protect kids, then shouldn't all platforms be held to the same standards? Or does Elon get a free pass because he panders to their political ideology? China does have fast trains. My data was deleted over 6 years ago and stopped reporting to the DMV. That sounds like a blessing! Go dark! Oh, dark 30. Is there any admin panel for Mastodon server? Yes, there is. I can show you that. Give me 1 second. So there is an admin panel, but you only see this panel if you are the administrator in your server. So, this is the admin panel. You can control just about everything in the server. There's nothing in here that I'm going to give away that you can't really figure out. You can see follows, followers, filters, import, export. Some of these are going to show up without it. Go ahead. Use my invite codes. They're all expired. You've got your dev, that's available. But then these things, I think moderation and administration are things you only see in the admin panel, as well as Sidekick and PG Hero. Sidekick is your queue, and then you can set your rules and all that. There's not much to the admin panel. I need to ensure that I have a place in China to reach and late. But y'all gonna go Buddha ban? You a big boy? You got that Buddha belly? Buddha belly! Hey, Red Anthrax sent me 30 biddies. I just saw that. Thank you. Thank you, buddy. Let's see. Oh, that's the bot. I might do Mastodon. Mastodon's nice. So the one thing I will say, though, is that more regular people, not us Abby Norma people, Young Frankenstein reference. We should put that on movie night for one of the Discords. Anyway, ADHD moment. You're going to find more average, everyday people using Blue Sky than you will Mastodon. There's a good number of people on Mastodon as well, but more of Mastodon crowd tends to be more technically, they're more techy. That's the honest truth with a lot of those people. A lot of the people on Mastodon were also the people that were there in the early days of the Twitter exodus, including myself. Both platforms are great. They both have their benefits. Oh, shit. I just forgot. I forgot to post that. I am live on Twitch. Twitch.tv/ChiefGeek3D. InfoSec. Hey! Thank you for the 100 biddies. Show us your plushie. Which plushies? I've got 3 around here. We've got Detective Pikachu. We've got this is the cool alpaca from CrowdSec, cybersecurity tool, like a failed man on steroids. And then we got the most recent edition, Plushtodon, the official Mastodon logo and plush. I spent like $50 on this, but it's a donation to the nonprofit out there, so yay. Yeah, he's actually one of the nicer ones. He's squishy. He's sweet. I think they know that a bunch of us are probably anxious little pieces of shit, and we need something to hug. And by the way, my mental health tip of the day is stop being an anxious piece of shit, you anxious piece of shit. That's a joke. But is it tax deductible? No, because it was bought for the, I think it's their Swiss or German or whatever nonprofit, and they're not a 501c3 from my understanding. But if it was a 501c3, I could do a tax deduction. Now, the Tor badge, that lie detector badge I bought at DEF CON, spent $150 on, that is tax deductible because they have a 501c3. They told me straight out. Any money I use to buy, pay at the Tor Foundation, they will give me a receipt and I'll put it on my taxes. And damn straight, I bought every damn shirt. I'm going to duck my taxes. Don't look at me when you say that, you anxious piece of shit. Thanks, I'm cured. Yeah, see? All it takes to stop being an anxious piece of shit is just to stop being an anxious piece of shit. It's amazing. I could come out here like the ShamWow guy. We got so much anxiety in this box right here, and ShamWow, you're no longer an anxious piece of shit. How about that? I redeemed the give my dog a treat. I got banned on Blue Sky and Truth Social. How the fuck you get banned on both? My God. That's like... Let me get my words together here for this analogy. That is like a political ideology spit roasting. You said something bad. What, Did you tell Trump that he needs to learn English? Did you tell him that he is the diversity hire? What did you do? Blue Sky, Blue Sky, I've only noticed people getting kicked off of Blue Sky if you are actually being a toxic piece of shit. I've noticed that. Why is my TikTok not Tech Talk anymore? Oh, you said something. Okay. Probably because a lot of the tech creators aren't really as focused on creating content for TikTok with the upcoming ban, and a lot of us are going over to Shuahuangshu. Or Red Note. Shoo. If you're on TikTok wondering why you're not seeing your favorite TikTokers, they're probably on other platforms right now or planning for the ban. Wholesome video. Why do I doubt that you said that? Why do I doubt that that's wholesome? Your opinion on the Copilot AI key is now standard key on the keyboard with the latest laptops. I got something for this. I got a physical prop we're going to use in 1 second. I just got to see what the hell Dev sent me. I got to fix the audio, though. 1 second. Okay, hold on. Let's figure out what did Dev send me. The YouTube link. I was pulling some psychological tactics. Oh. Denzel Washington honors Samuel L. Jackson at the 12th Governor's Awards. How many times is he gonna drop the F-bomb in this? I've been alright, HGH. What is this that you sent me?
Samuel L. Jackson, where are you? Oh. Samuel L. Jackson. Nah, I'm not gonna do that. Let me tell you something. We go back so far, but I'll start with this. 152 movie titles.
I forgot. That, damn, isn't a lot.
152 movie titles, 27 billion in box office.
Damn.
27 billion.
With a B.
More than any other actor in history.
I can believe it. If it's got Samuel L. Jackson, I'm gonna go around and watch it.
11 times, Nick Fury. 1 time, Django. I just like saying Django because he says Django. I just like Django.
I was wondering, why are you... Quentin's over there like, it's Django! Drop the D, motherfucker!
In the theater, the Goodman Theater, we worked together even before that. At the Negro Ensemble Company, we did a pretty good play called The Soldier's Play that became a great movie, A Soldier's Story. Wasn't as good as it would have been had Sam been in it, but that's...
You know, it's weird looking at this video. These two actors have been there my whole life.
That's for another day. What else I got?
Interesting just to process. These actors have been there my whole life.
Many awards, obviously.
Amazing actors. Inspirations. Amazing men.
These are, and there's a few of them, the organizations that Samuel L. Jackson and his wife, LaTanya Jackson, give to. Alzheimer's Association, American Institute for Stuttering, American Red Cross, Artists for New South Africa,
Jesus.
Bedford-Stuyvesant Restoration Corporation, Black Economic Alliance, the Brain Trust, Cedars-Sinai, Broadway Cares, Equity Fights AIDS.
I know when he pulled out those cards, he's like, he's got a lot of groups.
And somebody, Tutu, Legacy Foundation, Earth Island Foundation, the Hollywood Foundation for Autism, Parkinson's Disease. In a Perfect World Foundation, the Joseph Lowery Institute for Social Change, Magic Johnson Foundation.
Oh, the Magic Johnson
College,
Foundation.
Morehouse
Really?
College, NAACP, Legal Defense Fund, National Action Network, Kidney Foundation, Solutions Coalition, the Smithsonian.
I thought he was going alphabetical. Now I don't know how far down the list he is.
College, United Negro College Fund, and the Urban League. That's what he's been doing. I don't know what y'all been doing. But that's what he's been doing. Make sure I didn't forget anything now. Oh, I'm supposed to look up here. Now. Let's look over just a few of his greatest moments.
Just a few of his greatest moments. But yeah, Samuel L. Jackson is a good example of like what you should aspire to be, because like what was it? I think it was Andrew Carnegie that also had the saying of a man should spend half his life earning his money and the other half giving it back. That is one of my goals. Is I want to do well enough in my life that I can actually start giving back to my community. I've said it to y'all, like straight up. I don't see the point in a person having. I'm not a proponent of, like capping income or anything, but I don't see where my life is going to be any better than if I had like $5 or $10 million in assets. I was sitting back, and I say this as somebody that actually have done IT. I have friends of the family, relatives that actually do have money. I mean, I worked in like huge mansions and stuff when I was doing residential IT and overseeing things. I mean, and I remember like talking to them, and like even they said, like, after you make your first 5-10 mil, you really don't improve your life that much better. Like, what do you do after that point? You go from first class to a private jet, okay. You go from, a little yacht to a super yacht. But ultimately, the friends that I had and the family members and some of the ones who have passed that have given me advice told me the one hardest part about when you do get wealthy is you can create a bubble for yourself, because then you become isolated from how the rest of your friends and the rest of the world really works. I know several wealthy people that literally tell me the reason why they go to, their places of worship, whether it's a mosque, a church, a synagogue, or anything, on a religious basis, is not specifically just for the be always thankful and gracious to God kind of aspect of thing, but the being able to communicate and connect with your neighbor to always stay grounded and know what the actual needs of the everyday person is versus sticking my head up my ass. They said it better than me. But I like my way. That's what happens with people use their money to help humanity. Exactly. And that's an example I've wanted to live up to. There is a friend of the family, may he rest in peace, that when he passed, I remember the local newspaper. I've known this guy my entire life. The man was so nice that when he found out I was going to school overseas, called me into his office, and he said, I have a gift for you. Heard you did well in school. Pulls right out of his wallet, $100 bill. And he says, this is for you. Here's the condition. You can only spend that money when you're overseas in school. Use it on whatever you want. And I looked at him and I said, what if I want to buy a bottle of Jack and Daniels? He's like, you can do that when you're overseas. But it has to be spent when you're over there. Otherwise, I want that $100 back, because I know you're not doing anything. Well, when he passed, I knew he was a charitable man. But holy shit, the local newspaper literally took out the entire paper just to say all the organizations that the man has donated to, and I didn't even know about 95% of them. He was the prime example of, like, what he told me is, like, so, going back into the Judaism thing. The laws of, tzedakah, charity, there's 7 levels. And this is something good to know, because I think this is a good lesson for anyone. Let me see if I can remember that. No, 8 levels, sorry. This is from the Rambam, Maimonides. Y'all can pick this up at Chabad.org. But we'll start from the lowest level. Oh, he was definitely on the highest level. We'll go through. The lowest level, the 8th level, a lesser level. So the lowest level is when one gives unwillingly. You have someone begging you for money, and you like the homeless people that come up to you and annoy you, and you just give $1 to them. That's the lowest because you're annoyed, but you give them money. A level higher than that is when one gives inadequately, but gives gladly and with a smile. So imagine the person that's homeless on the street with a cup, that needs $1, whatever. You can't give them enough for, like, say, a full Taco Bell meal or whatever, something like that. But you throw $1 in their cup and say, have a great day. That's even higher. Higher than that is when one gives to the poor person after being asked. So the poor person asks you and then you give. A higher level than that is when a person is when one gives to the poor person directly into his hand, but gives before being asked. So you're donating without even being asked. You're just like, hey, you need this. Just take it. Have a good day. A level above that is when one does not know to whom one gives, but the poor person does know his benefactor. The example of this is the greatest sages used to tie coins into their robes and throw them behind their backs, and the poor would come and pick the coins out of their robes so that they would not be ashamed. A level higher than that in terms of charity is when one knows to whom one gives, but the recipient does not know the benefactor. The greatest sages used to walk about in secret and put coins in the doors of the poor. It is worthy and truly good to do this if those who are responsible for distributing charity are not trustworthy. A higher level than that is to give to the poor without knowing to whom one gives and without the recipient knowing from who he received. For that is the performing the mitzvah solely for the sake of just heaven, the goodness of the world. This is like an anonymous fund that, used to be in the temple back in the day. The righteous gave in secret, and the good poor profited in secret. Giving to a charity fund is similar to this mode of charity, though one should not contribute to a charity fund unless one knows that the person appointed over the fund is trustworthy and wise and a proper administrator. The highest level above all, to which there is no greater level, is to help a fellow person by endowing them with a gift or a loan, entering into a partnership with them, finding employment with them in order to strengthen his hand so that he will not need to be dependent upon others. And that, my friends, is why Jesus had the whole saying of, give a man a fish, feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, feed him for a lifetime. Now, admittedly, Rambam came about like 1,500 years or so after that, but that's pretty much Jewish philosophy right there. It's better to help people out in various different ways. But those are the 8 levels of charity. I like to hope that one day I can actually create opportunities and jobs and all those things for the people that are my friends that help me do all this. $20 me and my buddy was going to a friend house and no, let's just give. This is my only statement of doing such. Yep. And by the way, you know what's an even bigger mitzvah? One that gives charity without telling others. One should do charity for the sake of doing charity, not for the name recognition around said charity. Some of us know some of those wealthy people that will only donate money if their name gets on a plaque. That's the ideal that we should all live up to. That's just my perspective on things. We all should strive to make a better world. We all should strive to have the world be in a better place when we leave it. That's my honest perspective on a lot of this stuff. What animal charity do you like? I like dog ones. Oh, fuck PETA. PETA, okay, I'm gonna tell you this. When PETA came to my college, okay, so one thing you all don't know about me. back when I used to live in Israel, I learned to shecht animals. I learned how to do the slaughtering of the animal. You get the sharp knife, slit the throat, drain the blood, check the body, all of that. So as far as blood and guts when it comes to, field stripping and cleaning an animal and everything like that, doesn't bother me. So, PETA likes to go to the college campuses with this whole shock and awe, nasty, visuals and everything like that. I went to the cafeteria, got a burger, went outside, and just looked at these images and kept eating my burger while I was talking to them. And I just apparently disgusted the hell out of all these people because they're like, how can you eat that looking at this image? And I said, well, because Betty over there is going to be my next T-bone. And her ass looks fine, too. That she could probably feed my whole family. Or I said something to that, level or something like that. And I remember when the funny thing was, they're like, how could you do that? And I remember they pointed at the pig in the picture. And they're like, you would eat that? And I'm like, no! I'm Jewish. It's a little anti-Semitic to tell the Jewish guy he's going to eat pig. And I just remember them doing the whole, 180, It was funny. I was an edgelord in college. There's a lot of edgy things in college I just cannot repeat that I've done. Oh, I used to mess with friends. So, when I was in college in Israel, some of my friends used to, smoke weed and stuff like that. I don't care if they did. But anyway, in Israel, that shit was super illegal. So what I used to do is mess with them. Because I had one of those Maglite flashlights that the cops used. I brought it over with me. Come home. I'd often do this when I was drinking for whatever fucking reason. I thought it was hilarious. It's the police, open up the door. I remember I did that. I heard the first time I did that, several of the guys were screaming and they were freaking out. You heard a toilet flush and I come in the door hey, what's up? You fucking asshole. What? Something happened? Okay, so, did y'all hear that Biden did pass a executive order requiring new cybersecurity standards for companies that are doing business with the federal government? Although it's kind of weird that Biden is passing a cybersecurity executive order this late into his term. The basics of the executive order are pretty much very simple. There's going to be a new certification that companies have to go through to prove the security of their products. And any company that the government wants to do business with starting in 2027 must have the seal of approval. But it's an executive order, so it's kind of weird on if Trump wants to enforce this order. Now, the other thing that is interesting when it comes to this is Donald Trump, last I remember looking into this, was not a fan of CISA, the Cybersecurity Infrastructure Security Agency. I forgot the exact reason why, but I think it was CISA called him out. What's up, Lawson? How's it going? So yeah, there's a new executive order here. I definitely am going to keep an eye on it, but I don't know how far this is going to go because we're in this lame duck period right now. We're pretty much, didn't he start CISA? I think you're right. When did CISA start? November 16th, 2018. Yes, you are right. But then CISA, okay, hold on. I'm trying to pull up the Reuters article. I think this is the one. Then when he lost the 2020 election, I think CISA claimed that the election was fair, countering his narrative. Yep, that's what happened. And by the way, can I just say, Have y'all taken a look at who the head of CISA was that has just stepped down? Because in the words of Wayne and Garth, she's a babe. She's magically babelicious. And I mean that with all the respect in the world, because her accolades in her career, fucking amazing. And it's sad that we're seeing her step down because she knows Trump ain't a fan of her. He could fix me, respectively. Let me see. Oh yeah, and then what was it? Okay, yeah. There we go. He fired the last. Here, I'll pull up the article here. This was 4 years ago. President Donald Trump on Tuesday fired top cybersecurity official Chris Krebs in a message on Twitter, accusing him without evidence of making up highly inaccurate statement, affirming the November 3rd election was secure and rejecting claims of fraud. So he created this agency, appointed this individual. This individual comes back and says, no, the election was fair. What are we supposed to do? But yeah. Let me see. Who is what is her name? The CISA director. Jen Easterly. That's her name. Like, if y'all ever have a moment, look into this lovely lady's career and her accolades and what she has accomplished. Like, I remember looking at her entire career, like, that's an impressive career. Counterterrorism and a bunch of other things, like, she can get it. In all the respectful ways. Anyway. What was I also going to talk about? Oh, yeah, so TikTok ban. Oh, yeah, so I think I mentioned before the Shuao Huangshu app that I was playing with. Wasn't she a speaker at Black Hat Las Vegas 2023? I think she was, but I didn't go to Black Hat. So the thing about Black Hat is it's one of those events I want to go to, but I can't justify the spend. It's $3,000 last I checked, or $2,500, or just anyway. It's a ridiculous number to go to Black Hat for the price. I'd rather spend the $500. Go to DEF CON. $600, make it a B-Sides. Like, seriously, for the price of Black Hat plus a hotel, I can pay for B-Sides, DEF CON, and hotel. It's ridiculously, like, how expensive that is. Now, with God's help, if the content creation does well enough, I could justify it 1 year. But yeah, if your employer pays for it, it's worth it. It absolutely is a good argument there. But even I've said to my employer, I said, look, I spoke to my mentor, referring to Colonel Dump. Colonel Dump is the one that told me straight up, like, I should not go to Black Hat. He's like, if you want to go to Black Hat, pay $500 for the vendor hall, because that's all you're really going to care about. Go schmooze with the vendors, go get your drink tickets, go meet with, the parties and stuff like that. But, go, to DEF CON instead for the money. And when I went to my employer, because my employer's trying to tighten their belts on all the vacations, and not vacations, but the conventions and business trips and everything like that, they said straight up they're trying to cut down on travel. And I said, well, look, if you give me B-Sides and DEF CON, that's all I need. Because that's just 1 week in Vegas. Because last year, they screwed themselves. They admit this. Thank you for the follow, Lawson. They screwed themselves last year because for some reason they had to stick up their ass and didn't want to send me to DEF CON. So I looked at my manager and said, I'm still going to DEF CON. He's like, but work's not sending you. I said, I didn't say work's sending me. And I just said, you will get a PTO request. Approve said PTO request. I'm going. And I made it very clear to my manager, and my manager is completely on my side in this. Because he went to, we met out at DEF CON and we hung out. He met Colonel Dump. We had a nice chat, cool, all that. I said to my boss, I'm like, if I go to DEF CON and I'm going on my own dime, I'm not bringing a work phone. I'm not bringing a work laptop. All phones and laptops are my own. And I told them, I said, now I know some of my coworkers are going to DEF CON. I will make a signal group and I will teach all of them the basics because this is their first DEF CON experience. And they deserve to go experience it in the best way. Because these are also my friends, you know. I want to make sure they're having a good time. Made a signal group to connect with all of them. All 3 of those coworkers that went made sure to single out in their talk. We have a quarterly on all hands meeting on what they, you know, were learning and everything. That I was key for them to enjoy it as much as they did. And why they were able to experience as much as they did and not get as overwhelmed as they were. And I was their guide. Like the night before the event, I got the VIP tour from some goons out there of the layout because it was brand new. So I got some idea of where everything was going, got a picture of the badge before it was released, and, you know, got to send that to the little signal group with my friends and shared them all the little insides and everything. Yeah, so it's cool. This should be fun. Do you do pen testing or red teaming? Also, any tips to get in the foot in my door? It's rough out here. No, I do more blue teams. Problem is, red teaming is... it's very hard to get in the door. There's a lot more jobs for blue teaming. The pay grades, the stability, the security is a lot better on a blue team. Now, if you go on my Discord server, there are a few red teamers that hang out there. I'm friends with a few of them. One of my red teamer friends, once in a while, I have him try to break down my boxes. But I do more on the defense kind of things. That's just kind of what I like. Firewalls and securing and all of that. I did just get my CISSP a couple of months ago as well. I do hope to eventually have time to focus more on doing offensive security stuff, but there's just so many things out there. Right out here for the offensive side to get started. It is. One of my best friends is a pen tester. He's only 21 or 22. He's been in the field for like 2 years now. He got in pretty well, although admittedly, my mentor and I gave him technically his first pen test job, which gave him the foot in the door for the rest of his jobs. He's doing pretty well. But red teaming, extremely hard to get into. And that's why I always warn a lot of people that, like, the problem is... let me put it this way. Being in red teaming isn't a bad job and career choice in and of itself. The hard part is getting into it. And it's a very competitive job. A lot of the jobs are contract. Most companies don't have an internal red team. Most companies have an internal blue team. They contract for red teaming. I work in an enterprise with like 7,000 employees, or I think it's like 8,000. There's a few thousand people, okay? So it's a nice sized enterprise. We don't have our own red team. We have tools we use to simulate certain attack loads, but we still have to hire these different firms that are certified to do all the tests and everything in the ways that we need. So, yeah. Yeah, so, Parrot CTFs. So Parrot CTFs can help out, but it's a tough field to break into, and most people I know that are doing red teaming came from the blue team side of things first. It'll be easier to go blue, then break into red, than just go straight red. Plus, there's also the other disadvantage that I've had to walk some of my pure red teaming friends through, is they don't know enough about the blue teaming side of things. So I have to walk them through basics of zero trust network access and things like that, and how I would secure a network and everything, because they don't understand a lot of the things that I'm dealing with at an enterprise level, because a lot of that stuff you can't really simulate easily. I do IT for as the largest employer in the state, and they don't even have an offensive team. See? There's a whole other, like, the issue with offensive is, like, it's a whole other thing. Love networking and setting up DNSs and computers and networks, but Cybersec is a full job. Need a motivator for it, I guess. Cybersecurity is a full-time job. Yeah. So I work with the IT team for different things, but most of my job, what I'm dealing day to day, is email security, endpoint detection and response. You're dealing with zero trust network access. We don't do VPNs at where I work. We got rid of all of our VPNs at work, except for site to sites. All our devices. Excuse me, I got the hiccups. All our devices that are handed off to our employees use Zscaler for zero trust network access. There's no full tunnel going everywhere. And then it's postured against CrowdStrike, and then you got email security. There's several different things there, 365 and something else. And then we're working on the DLP side of things, data leak prevention, data loss prevention, whatever the word you want to use there. And then, yeah, right now the big pain in the ass is we're in the middle of an AWS account overhaul. They're redoing the entire architecture of AWS accounts to lock it down for better permissions and everything. It was already pretty good as it was, but we had AWS contractors come in and literally re-architect the whole thing. So now we are going to have it hardened even more and isolate more tasks and things like that. It'll be great overall. Just a pain in the ass. Because now we got to rework all of our stuff. And then we just, like, a lot of cybersecurity is more so figuring out how the things connect. But also, when it comes to cybersecurity as a whole, there's many different aspects to cybersecurity. So I'm an engineer. I work mostly on platforms. You've got your analysts, you've got your architects that architect the thing, you've got your network engineers, you've got your governance, risk, and compliance, you've got your identity and access management, you've got operations. Well, that's kind of an analyst, isn't it? Yeah, you've got operations, basically. You've got your backup disaster recovery and your business continuity planning and business and DR, disaster recovery, not BDR. Is it BDR? Anyway, words. Yeah, there's a lot more you can do on the Blues team side of things for it. Like, I got my AS, 4 years in IT, and 1 beginner offensive cert and advanced one. I'm working on an expert level 1 now, but it seems like they want people to come into the field with 5+ experience in the offensive field already. You're just got to collect certs until someone decides it's enough, I guess. So here's the one thing I'm going to tell you, Chaos. Getting more certs, for a lot of people, it seems like it's very helpful. Having too many certs and no experience can be a detriment. Get enough certs for the job that you need. But if you're just getting certs to get certs, that's gonna hurt you. Because you're talking to someone that's been in the field for 10 years, doesn't have a college degree in this. Well, technically I do, but it's ITT, and it's a 2-year degree, and it's bullshit anyway, and my loans are forgiven. Technically I don't have a degree, okay? I technically gave it back. But I just got my CISSP certification by my current employer that I've been there for a couple years now. I had no certs, just field experience going into the job. So there's a video I would definitely recommend you watch, Chaos, that I have on YouTube. It's, do you need college or a boot camp to get into IT or cybersecurity? Or some title, something like that. I made it like 2 or 3 months ago. I've recommended this video a million times. Not all of it's going to apply to you, because definitely it's like, you know, learn about ISC squared certs and all that. But the one concept I definitely want to drill into you that you're going to probably need to understand is, for the first 2 to 3 years of your career, you're going to have to do a thing that I call embrace the suck. And that means, okay, I want you to know what I'm about to say, Chaos. I say with love, admiration, and respect. You're still not shit in this field yet. I'm not saying that to be an asshole. I'm saying look at all the other people in the field that you're competing against. You're still very new if you're trying to go straight into offensive. Do the bitch work. Do some blue teaming side. Get some blue team defense in there and everything. It'll be easier to go red team once you have some blue team knowledge under your belt. The reason why, and I explained this to a few of my pen tester friends, and they've said this worked for them too, is that you have to think of red teaming as a yin and yang thing. In order to be a good red teamer, one must know a little bit of blue teaming. And in order to be a good blue teamer, one must know a little bit of red teaming. You ever look at the yin-yang symbol and see how it has that swoosh and then there's that little dot? It's because there's a little good and evil and good. Look, you're a smart dude, don't get me wrong. I think you're plenty capable. But I think you're pushing yourself possibly too hard into, I need to be red team right now, into, I need to work to get to red team. And just focusing on certs isn't going to help, because the certs only prove that you know the theory of the thing, you can possibly go after it in a lab-like environment. But the field is completely different than the lab. What I would also recommend doing, and I talked about this in my video as well, make a blog. A WordPress, a Tumblr, a whatever. Document your entire journey, if you aren't already. Make sure when you send resumes out, link that. Link that to your resume. Not only that, you have a GitHub? If not, make a GitHub. Make some code, do some contributions, all that. Link your GitHub in. By the virtue of doing those two things, when you make your blog, though, if we can do a third thing for a bonus point, make sure you buy a domain. Yes, you can use a free Tumblr or, a WordPress.com or whatever. I'm not going to shun you for that. But if you can, for a couple bucks, go to Cloudflare. Buy a domain or Porkbun or whatever. Sign your domain there. Set up a proper business email. I prefer Microsoft Office 365. Do Proton Mail, do Google, whatever that. So when you go to apply, set your email on your resume, you will have a blog with your domain name, your email address with your domain name, and a GitHub. For most other fields, if you're not in IT and cybersecurity, I'd say don't bother doing this. In IT and cybersecurity, showing little things like that, these little notes, can help go just a little bit further. It may not seem like much, but to people like me that are looking at a resume, if I see you using a Gmail, it tells me you go home and you just fuck around. I'm not being like, not completely, but you get what I'm saying here in a sec. Whereas if I see you have your own domain name, it's like, okay, this guy's a tech. There's simple little things that people like me can look at a resume and see, hey, does this person, are they interested in tech? Is this their, like their passion or that? How into this are they? And there's little things you can call out to it. And one thing I will also tell you is that having social media content on your own projects and everything will help you get your job rather than hurt you. How do I know that? My job I got hired for specifically because my boss said he liked that I evangelized cybersecurity. That I could go around, talk about it, break down different topics into simple things, and I could actually go and have discussions about this. In my interview, I was literally pulling out Raspberry Pis and Monero, and I was compiling something in the background here over a Teams meeting. You saw in the background, all that. He knew I was, one of those people that loves this. Just these little things you can pepper in. The other thing I would also recommend is, if you're not already, cover letters for each company. You're going to have to craft that cover letter separately for each company. Do a little bit of OSINT on each company before you send that cover letter. Understand what the company is about, what they're about. Because here's the one thing I want you to also prepare for as you go into a job if you haven't thought about this already. Whenever I meet with potential people that are going to be on my team and we do that team interview thing, I always have one question for them. Why do you want to work here? And I want you to think about, for each job that you go into, why you want to work there, and don't make the answer of, I need a job. I want to get paid. It's, like, I'm looking for opportunities to grow, whatever works for you. Make that a different reason for each one. Like, I had a friend that worked for an aviation company. He's been a plane spotter for years. That's a hobby I enjoy myself. And he said, I really love planes, and I think it would just be awesome every day to go to the airport and work and be able to see planes on my break. That's even a good answer right there. It surprises me how few people in tech aren't home labbing or have their own email server domain. Exactly. And that is exactly why I told Chaos, blog about your stuff. Make a little, make it a little bit more professional. Home lab, detail your home labbing kind of things there. But also, there was one thing I was also going to say. Oh, if you're not getting feedback on your resumes that you're sending out, here's the honest truth. Your resume is shit. Guilty. Did it myself. So how you fix that? There are professional resume writers that are out there all across LinkedIn and things like that. They charge anywhere from, it depends on the quality of the work and all that, anywhere from $50 to $250 depending on the package you get. I paid like $150 for one person that redid my resume, did a cover letter for me, and helped me rewrite my LinkedIn for $150. The other thing also I will tell you is that too many people focus just on getting jobs through LinkedIn. You will find more jobs by going through local groups, meeting them, making relationships and friends. The current job that I had, I found out about through word of mouth. A friend of mine happened to have a friend that was working at the place that I'm currently working at, put a word in, got information, sent me the specifics, and I applied there. Yeah, I do a lot of home labs, and I really do love offensive security, but to prove I am doing stuff, a blog is a great idea. Absolutely. A blog, you make any little tools, put them on GitHub, open source them. You see a tool you're using, and you see a way you can enhance it, make a little script there. I even have some scripts that I have private for various reasons, but I will make public if I ever need to. Like I've made my own twist on DNS Twist to look through all the different typo squat domains. So I could actually pump that information in to where we can block it. So at work, the way I had it going was through API, it would, after the DNS did the thing, we go to CrowdStrike, then push to CrowdStrike to block all these domains so we didn't accidentally hit a typo squat domain for our own company. There's a lot of things you can do. But yeah, those little things can help you get a lot further. Professional resume writer, the blog, the server, email things, just like all the things to do professionally. And then also what I want you to do, go out there, do mock interviews with friends. If you have any friends that are in the tech field, you have a mentor, something like that, have them look over your resume, have them check it out, stuff like that. You'd be surprised just getting another pair of eyes how well that helps you when you're looking for a job, to find out how do other people view these things. You also have to look at keywords, things like that. To be honest, this so far has been one of the most helpful streams for answering on this, is because even guys that are working in the field already and stream content have just basically said, yeah, those certs should be good enough to get a job, and that was it. Yeah, certs don't get you the job, they get you the interview. You have to sell yourself. Certs at most will get you through the HR gatekeeper. So here's how it breaks down. You have at the lowest level, HR is who's reviewing all of these resumes. When it comes to their tech literacy, they're usually garbage. They are fed their points from the hiring manager. The problem is HR tends to disqualify candidates a little bit too early. My manager that I work for even pulled me from his reject pile. So don't feel bad. I was amongst 100 candidates. He pulled me from the reject pile because the 3 that HR or however many he got, he didn't like any of them. And he even told me straight up, on paper, I was far less qualified than all of my other competition. What sold me was when he got on a Teams call with me. I was talking tech. I was, literally you have, imagine, you are literally having an interview, and this is the setup you see. Imagine if you are a hiring manager, and you get on a call, and there's literally a guy forget the aesthetic here on the microphone. Imagine this is just a plain Shure SM7B. And you just see this computer in the background here, and I think the camera was tilted in such a way, like imagine you come in, and you're a hiring manager, and this is what you see. And imagine there's a few Raspberry Pis and other single board computers over here I was working on at the time. And I'm just talking to the manager like this. That was more impressive to him because the problem that he saw was no one that he was interviewing was enthusiastic for the job. I got an interview, and after a while I asked why me, and they said on paper I was underqualified, but in the interview I did great. Exactly. So the issue you have is breaking the gatekeeper. So what you have to do... Now, unfortunately, in the AI, I can't help you too much because I got my job before the inrush of AI. Like, I remember writing my resume with help with ChatGPT 3.5. Certs help you break in the door. But the problem is, and this is where I'm saying it's a double-edged sword. If you break in the door and HR says, hey, this guy's been in the field for so many years, they have all this certs, the hiring manager's going to look at it and say, he's got all these certs, but he hasn't done any pen testing work yet. Next. That's what's going to happen. They're looking to understand that you know the concepts that you are willing to work for. Well, that's what I'm saying is I don't really blame HR. That's their expertise as HR. That's why I said they're not technically literate. They are given the criteria from a hiring manager. But if the like I've seen this issue happens a couple times. Okay, one of the hiring managers, I don't think it was my manager. I think it was another manager, forgot to list one of the certifications that they were okay with seeing was CISSP. You and I, everyone in this chat, we probably all know about CISSP. HR, of course, didn't know about that. They were disqualifying CISSP certified candidates. So HR doesn't know what they're doing, but I really don't think HR in many ways should be the gatekeeper. But yeah, HR, pretty resumes, lots of, have a blog there, have a GitHub attached. Professional email, stylize your resume so it can actually be a little bit more eye-popping and guide your eyes there. That's where you're going to need a professional resume writer if you can't find a template that actually suits a lot of the stuff you need. And that will help you a lot more. Because these are humans at the end of the day. And the other thing I will also tell you is, I don't know what positions you're looking for specifically in terms of like hybrid, remote, on-site. If you're looking for a fully remote position, you're looking at minimum, from what I've seen according to all my friends right now, 3 to 6 months of getting a job. And I'm not talking about like, oh, I just started looking for my remote job and in 3 months I'll get one. No, I'm talking about once you start talking to them, it'll be 3 to 6 months. How do I know? Gitz just went through that too. Gitz went through 3 months and 6 interviews for a remote job. Dude's got 15 years of coding experience. Like, he actually knew Brendan Eich, the guy that made JavaScript and stuff like that. So, yeah, HR has been the biggest cock block so far. Like, just please give me an interview. And wow, that is a long time. Yeah. So, I don't know what part of the country or part of the world you're in. One other thing I will also recommend you look into. Like I said, it's not necessarily what you know, but who you know. Now, I have another video you can watch if you need to see the resources I'm about to show you and you forget about it. It's on my channel, too. I think it's something about, like, networking events you should attend and all that. It's close to around the time I posted that do you need college or boot camp video. Was it InfoSec map? It is? Okay, there is a thing, I learned about this at DEF CON. So you can go to this site, it's called infosecmap.com. This will show you a ton of information security related events and groups. Find if any of these are close to you. Join them. Network with them. Make friends. Make connections. Because it's not what you know that will help you, it's who you know. You could be the most brilliant person in the fucking world, and if you don't know people, it ain't gonna get you anywhere. And the opposite is just as much true. If you know all the people but don't know shit, that can get you pretty far. So you can find a bunch of these different groups out here. So you got like the groups themselves listed. And I mean, these are all over. We're talking like ISC Squared, .hack. You know, you've got the 2600 groups. Like these are old. Like we're talking like pre-internet hacker groups. You've got the entire events map and everything. Let me see. Let's see if I can. Yeah, there's tons of different events going on all around. You can find, like, it's got a bunch all over the world. See which ones maybe are close to you, if at all possible. Can't guarantee there's a group always close to you, but I can at least say this hopefully will help. Big Sad, the manager of cyber at my organization, said when I talked to him that he sees and knows the needs for in-house offensive team, but he's just praying that he can hire another SOC right now. Yeah, that's the issue. See, the issue is offensive is very hard to justify the spend for. And the honest truth is, companies can only consider an internal offensive team when they're at an extremely mature point in their life cycle. That's after you've got your SOC, your NOC, your ops, your BDR and DR, you've got your GRC in place. You know, like you've got a lot of things that have to be put in place before one can comfortably say, we need an in-house offensive team. It takes a lot of time to get there. Even where I work at. And we're apparently one of the more mature organizations that, I'm not going to say which audit organization, but one of these nice audit organizations that oversees the SOC 2 Type 1 and Type 2 compliance, because we're going through SOC 2 auditing and then eventually ISO 27001. This company said, like, we barely have any issues. Like, yes, we have some AWS environment exposures and things like that, but in the grand scheme of things, like, we don't have a lot of issues. We do our quarterly pen test. We get the findings from them. We do the thing. Repeat, rinse, and repeat. Like I said, it's the largest employer in the entire state and beats the state itself, but it's rough to justify it. Tempted to even say I will do it for the same wage. Yeah, that's the other thing, my advice. Never take on more responsibilities without extra pay. The great thing about my boss being Middle Eastern and I'm Middle Eastern is I will look at him sometimes and say, look, what does my job description say? Am I getting paid more for this? Okay, no, then hand it off to the other team. But also, you said you've been at your company for 4 years, right? So, point I would make myself. I was in an IT company for 4 years. When I was doing the MSP life. Like, early on, when I started TikTok and everything, I was at an MSP. And, I was there for 4 years. I left when I was only making $50K, and I left immediately because Yitz had a friend that needed someone to do their IT and was willing to offer me almost twice as much. What I'm getting at is, make sure you're being paid fairly for all the work you're putting in. If you're still early on in your career, you may not know what your value is. Don't let your employer take advantage of you. See what the pay rate for your given job title is comparatively, and make sure you're within that range for your state, you know, geography and everything like that. Because no one wants to work for too little money. And just remember, the best advocate for yourself is you. So just make sure you're getting all the pay, the benefits, and everything that you do deserve. But also, keep your head on a swivel for better opportunities. Not here. I am level 1 to 3 for my entire zone, so I am IT for 1,800 employees and 2,400 devices. You are it? Like, do you have a team of people, or? Nah. Because, like, the way it broke down when I was an MSP was for every 12 clients, 1 tech. And 1 client could have, like, I think the most we had was like 300, 400 people in a client. But usually those are the ones that are augmented with their IT, so they have an on-site IT person, and then we would do the more advanced things like firewalls and servers and things like that. They just do the day-to-day. 1 type person. Okay. I just want to make sure you're taking care of yourself, not getting burnt out, but also make sure to give yourself the mental health days that you need and go relax and do yourself a favor. Go out, give yourself a, go get a deep tissue massage once a month or so like that. You're probably still young. Like, why the fuck do I need that? Trust me, your back will thank you for you later. I get a deep tissue massage 2 hours plus a 30-minute sauna once a month. Treat myself. I turn off my phone and say, fuck society. But, yeah. I think you'll do fine. Oh, I failed at that. Failed at what, buddy? But yeah, there's definitely a lot that you can do to level up your career. It's going to take time. It's going to take, a little bit of massaging with things. There's actually a lot of business networking groups come to think. There's a lot of networking groups I remember when I was looking for my job that would help you polish your resumes and all that. There's little like non-profits and everything. They'll give you classes to like look at your resume and spiff it up and things like that. So it's just use a lot of resources out there. I've worked for massive companies, learned their process, and moved to the next. And there you go. There's no winning. I do, on average, 14 to 18 tickets a day. Everything under the sun. Software, hardware, printers, phones, some networking, and some AD work. Yep. Sounds like you're in an MSP, my dude. Yeah, I know the MSP life. I like the fact that, I have work every day. Don't get me wrong. I have work every day. But do you know how nice it is to just say, you know what? I'm only, can't find an issue with this kind of thing going on. Looks like it's not my problem. Send back to IT. IT, why did you do all this troubleshooting over here to prove that it's a Z-scale issue? Please do that, then get back to me. Hospital IT is the trenches. Hospital IT is the worst. I used to do physical pen testing for hospitals. So I used to do more of the physical pen test stuff of that. Not the, software pen testing, like HIPAA compliancy and things like that. I'm so pissed that I lost my doctor coat. I used to have a doctor coat with, like, fake names on it and everything. Anyway. Yeah. Hospital IT, horrible. I used to, like, clone badges, enter in, put a hard hat on, walk in with a ladder, see if they'd let me into unauthorized areas. Yeah, I'd do whatever I could. It was fun. Shockingly, walk around with a clipboard, put a jacket on that makes you look like you're a doctor, and just pretend that you belong there, and nobody asks a question. Yeah, we handed out a lot of HIPAA failures. Okay. Hey! Speaking of the topic, I was looking at my blue sky and I was just hovering over this thread that I made earlier today. This actually is related. How amazing guys that knows you need to bust her ass and practically forces to take time off. I mean, that's nice and all, but just make sure you're getting paid well enough. I mean, that's great. I worked with great guys too, but money's money. Now I work with great guys and I get paid twice as much. So what I said earlier today was I'm often asked why I chose to transition into cybersecurity. The answer is simple. I used to do a lot of networking at the small to medium enterprise level while working for an MSP. The hours were brutal. Emergencies often meant working after hours or being called on site at the worst times. The unpredictability and constant firefighting made me reconsider where I wanted to grow in tech. Cybersecurity offered a more structured work-life balance, fewer on-site emergencies, and the chance to work on proactive solutions rather than constantly reacting to issues. It's a field where planning and strategy take center stage. Plus, the scope of cybersecurity aligns perfectly with my curiosity and desire to keep learning. Whether it's protecting networks, improving security protocols, or staying ahead of threats, it's a career where growth is constant. To anyone considering a move into cybersecurity, if you have an IT background, especially in networking, your skills are already valuable. It's a career that rewards adaptability, curiosity, and strategic thinking. Oh, the bot just came in. That's not all bad. Oh, yeah, he said that. I went, like, on a bunch of rants today. I don't even know why. I know why I did. Oh, we haven't even talked about the Asmongold Elon Musk crash out. We got to get into that. Although I did like this little quip I came up with earlier. Instagram Reels aren't a good alternative to TikTok. It's like trying to stream Netflix on Thailand. So anyway, did y'all see that Elon Musk became a hypocrite? Well, he's been a hypocrite for a long time, but did you see that Elon Musk leaked the DMs of Asmongold and then in a petty rage bitch fit took Asmongold's checkmark? Okay? Now, for those of you not familiar, open another tab because we're going to get back to that in a sec, the sheds and stuff. For those of you not familiar, this guy right here, Asmongold TV, 3.25 million subscribers, okay? This video right here. I'm not going to watch the whole thing, all right? So anyway, Elon Musk leaked the DMs of Asmongold, and this is all over Path of Exile 2. Elon Musk stands freaking out and realizing Elon Musk is a pathetic, insecure little liar because the Path of Exile 2 was not on my bingo card. So, for those of you that need a little bit of context here, Elon Musk, a few weeks ago, was recorded as one of the best players in Diablo 4. Apparently, he's like one of the highest ranked hardcore players and everything like that. And a lot of people were suspecting that he was botting, boosting, sharing count, whatever method, whatever. The problem with Diablo 4 is it's very easy to level up in that game, so you could give some plausibility, some, some benefits of doubts there. But Path of Exile 2, have you seen the video that he went through when he was doing this stuff? I need to find the original video. Here we can just... God damn it, are we really going to do this? I am really tired with Google doing this shit. Okay. Let's open up my stream. My screen. Okay.
I don't even understand it. Elon unfollowed Asmon. Was he not happy about the probably not happy about the PoE video? There's no way he played that account.
Just running past chaos orbs.
No loot.
That was the thing, is like I remember like seeing the whole run past chaos orbs and everything. And look, I'm not the most hardcore gamer out there. I have a full-time job, I have a life. I go touch grass. But I played Path of Exile long enough Path of Exile 2 long enough to know you need to get the chaos orbs and certain things like that. Anyway, I gotta get back to studying. I really appreciate the advice. Gotta tune in. Back in every so often. Have a great night. Happy hacking, Chaos. Do well on them studies. But thanks for hanging out, buddy. Okay, so
Please don't press his mana flask.
that was the other thing. Like, okay, so like the mana flask thing, I mean, it's one thing for you to, like, spam the mana attack, and then, like, you know, like, be like, oh, okay, I ran out of mana, like, 2 or 3 seconds ago, let me just, you know, press the, you know, the mana flask. You just press the one button, boom, back in action. You all see me do this on PoE, where I'm like, why is this not working? Oh, shit, out of mana, press button. And he's spamming this, like, look at this.
Level 48.
That's another thing. The whole thing, like when he's like the ring level is only level 48. In Diablo, levels of equipment do translate to their power, if I recall correctly. In Path of Exile 2, that's just the minimum level to use the item. I'm still rocking items that I think were like level 15 in my character, because they're legendaries, and they're great.
It's not really about one of these things happening. It's about everything happening. There has to be hundreds of hours to being level 90 fucking 7. If Elon Musk can prove that he played this account to 97, I will stream on X starting the day that he proves it for an entire year straight, every single stream.
And we all know Elon Musk doesn't have the proof to do this.
I do. It was so obvious. You cannot get
So yeah, Elon Musk no longer following Asmongold.
mad at me for bringing this up. If somebody does something that I like, I'm going to say I like the fact that you did that. But if they do something that I don't like, I have to say that it's
Hardboard leaderboard after many deaths. What we keck in life echoes through eternity. Like, let me put this this way: Elon Musk, what we keck in life, like, bro. Are you a fucking 12-year-old child on 4chan? I'm saying this as a guy that used to be that cringe and used to say kek. I know the origin of it. It's like LOL translated into Korean became KEK apparently or something like that. I know the origin of that. I know that. I'm younger than this motherfucker. And you realize, at a certain point, we take the nudie girl posters off our wall. We, learn to speak like an adult. And we move out of our parents' fucking basement. This dude's acting like he lives in his mom's fucking basement still, except he's freaking richest man on earth. This dude's speaking like a freaking, like, yeah.
because if you don't do that, that's not really telling the truth, is it? What is this? He responded about it. I love my Chinese alter ego. Okay, here we go.
So one of the questions was, am I going to comment on the Chinese driver of my Path of Exile account? Yes. His name is Elon Ma, and
That has been such a stupid cringe joke because I know Elon Musk is aware of the Elon Ma Chinese guy and he's doing it as a stupid
he's
joke.
amazing. I rely on him for everything.
Well, there it is. The mystery has been solved. There we go. The ghost camera, Elon Musk. Yep.
But anyway, in that video, there was one part that I remember he was talking about, what was it? Shit, let me rack my brain for a sec. There was the Elon Musk thing. There's, oh yeah. So he leaked the DMs. So Elon Musk leaked the DMs of this here. Now this is the part that really just like shocked me, okay? To show Elon Musk really has no fucking clue about how the world works. Let me move my camera over so you can see this. All right? These are the screenshots that he leaked. Elon Musk leaked this, okay? Asmon behaves like a maverick, independent, but in reality has to ask his boss for permission before he can do anything. He is not his own man. That is what Elon Musk himself said. These are the messages here. I'm gonna see if my editors might want to make a second account for it even. Sure. Who are these mysterious editors? Two guys, Asmongold and Cat Danny RU, they basically run the entire YouTube account, LOL. So basically any content I post is edited or uploaded by them, and they get a cut of the ad rev. It's a super good system, to be honest. Almost everyone on YouTube does it. That is literally what a lot of us creators do. Dev, one of my mods that's on my account, what does he do? I pay him money. He clips subtitles and styles videos from different points in my streams and stuff like that. And when I make videos on YouTube and all that, and he does that. The agreement I have with Dev, right now I pay him a flat fee because the percentages that I get on a lot of revenue, it's not even worthwhile. I'm just like, let me give you this much in dollars. It's more than you get in revenue right now. And once we get up to the revenue split where I can pay you more fairly, let's get you on 1099 and everything like that once we get to that point. This is a regular system. This is a tried and trusted system by many creators out there. The fact that Elon Musk not only doesn't understand how content creators make content, that they are not individuals that do all their own operations. I am one individual. I can't do all this shit on my own. And is calling, Asmongold out for this. And the irony, Elon broke X's terms of service by sharing messages. He broke his own rules. The same man that went ballistic because Jack Sweeney, the guy that makes Elon's jet, the program that was tracking Elon's jet and all the celebrity jets and every way, was using public information to say where Elon's jet was and banned him off, the platform, and then said that's a violation of the platform. That's with public info. He goes and does this, which is a clear violation. This is by and far worse than tracking a private jet. Not only that, he got community noted. Elon Musk has been such an advocate of community notes over, fact checkers. It appears Musk didn't take kindly to his own site correcting him. So in a truly petty act, the billionaire removed Asmongold's checkmark on X and unfollowed him on the platform. Asmongold was presumably paying for a premium X account. So Musk could be setting a dangerous precedent by removing the checkmark for no real cause. A few hours later, though, and Asmongold's checkmark had returned to his account. Maybe Musk was playing God for a brief spell, but it does seem like the checkmark was manually removed. Even if it's been added back, Elon Musk himself, when he wanted to buy the platform originally, made one of the hard points he was driving into the sand, or grass, or whatever line you want to do, was that he felt blue check marks were creating an elitist society, basically, on Twitter. And blue check marks shouldn't be used to hold power over users. And what the fuck did Elon Musk do? Elon Musk has become the very thing he sought to destroy. Hold on. We got the perfect sound for this. Make sure I get this right. All right. You know what Elon Musk pulled? This scene. You know this scene.
You were the chosen one.
There you go. You were the chosen one, Elon.
You would destroy the Sith, not join them.
Yeah. He joined the Sith. Well, he's always been part of the Sith.
Balance to the Force, not leave it in darkness.
See? That is the exact scene and situation that Elon Musk has now found himself in. All over what? A goddamn fucking video game. I I did not have in my bingo card that Elon Musk would be crashing out over a video game. Out of all the shit that Elon Musk does every fucking day. All the stupid shit he claims. All the different political parties. Literally supporting the, the Yahtzee parties over, was it Off D or whatever in Germany? You got the all this shit. I didn't expect him to crash out over this. I really think Elon Musk is going through a midlife crisis. I've been saying it for years. Elon Musk is going through a midlife crisis. How old is Elon Musk? 53. Yeah, dude's old. He's going through that period of time when everybody leaves their wife, leaves their kids, buys the Mazda, gets the new house, gets the trophy wife, leaves their job, gets a new job, moves halfway in the world. That kind of thing. But when you are as wealthy as Elon Musk, what does a midlife crisis look like? Well, what do you think? Because I want you to think about what does a midlife crisis look like to the average individual person. Buy a sports car. You get some sexy boyfriend, girlfriend. You come out the closet if you haven't already. You go on a major vacation. Like you're just not happy with your life. You do something. But when you're a billionaire, I guess, you go and buy journalism and social media companies. Look at Jeff Bezos. You really think Bezos isn't going through a midlife crisis? Dude divorced his wife, got another wife, bought a journalism company, the Washington Post, and now, I want you to think about this one. The dude is sending some of the most phallic objects up into the sky. Think about it. Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos. The billionaire midlife crises must be aspiring to create rocket-powered dicks that fuck the sky. I don't know. You tell me. Am I wrong? Am I crazy? I know I'm crazy. I could be wrong, but I could be so right. All right, but anyway. Yeah, I did not have Elon Musk crashing out over that. Yeah, dick measuring contest. The dude is trying to literally be like, I got a bigger dick than God! Which reminds me, I gotta bring down my gun cleaning kit. Which reminds, there's a dick joke in that one too. We're gonna take a break for about 2 minutes. I gotta pee. And I gotta bring something funny. So we'll be right back. 2 minutes. Okay. We are back. Sorry, it took me a second to find this. So, this was a Hanukkah gift from one of my cousins. When I looked at the box, I looked at my cousin and I'm like, I'm not a bottom. Why did you get me this? You know what this is? It's a gun cleaning kit. But at first glance, when you look at this, what do you think it looks like? Because the problem is, like, yes, you've got, like, it looks like a bullet. But, like, if the light's hitting it like this is right now, like, the lighting looks just long enough to, like, be like, is that a flared base? Oh. Oh, this was so funny when I got this. It's useful, though. It's kind of a nice little thing, because you can, have it all in a container, but I swear to God, I wonder if I put this in my checked luggage when I go to DEF CON for the DEF CON shoot, if, what this would look like at TSA. What the hell would TSA say about this? Just scanning it and you see, like, one giant, like, tube that looks like that. That bag is definitely getting inspected. But yeah, it's a nice little gun cleaning kit. I think that'll do fine. Because all the gun cleaning stuff I have is from my grandfather when he passed. And they're a little bit old. The only thing I've really replaced is the cleaning solvent and the oil. It's a little bit rough on the twist because I just cross-threaded it. Don't cross the threads. Don't cross the streams. By the way, we should watch Ghostbusters in the Discord movie night one of these nights. Although this weekend, we will be watching The Net with Sandra Bullock. That's a great movie, 1995. I think what's interesting about that movie in 1995 is it shows the weird crossover in a world, like, because you have to remember, when she orders pizza in that movie, online order delivery of pizza wasn't a thing yet. That was like a whole, like, at the time, that was just Hollywood fantasy. The whole idea of you could have friends on the internet and never know their face or anything like that was this whole weird concept. And it's interesting, 20 plus years now. It's the norm. Look how many friends you've met that you've never seen their actual face and you just, like, buddy telling your entire life story to. It's absolutely fascinating to think about how the world used to think of the world as it is. And you want to know also one of the things I really miss about when I was a kid? So, like, I was thinking, like, one thing I really miss about when I was a kid and everything is I really miss the idea of not always needing a cell phone and everything. In today's world, we can't exist without a cell phone. Like, if I were to actually say I went out and did my shopping and everything entirely without a cell phone, most people would look like I'm crazy. It really, like, it's one of those things where I wish I could live in a world again that I didn't need to always be connected, because I always find this issue that we as a society have a real big issue being able to live in the moment, live in the now. I want you to think about it this way. The next time you go to a concert, the next time you go to some special event, I want you to look around at what everyone else in the crowd is doing. And what I mean by that is, if you go to a concert and you look around, almost everyone's going to have their damn phone recording the same event. And I remember going as a kid to a concert. You know what everyone would have in their hand at a concert? And there weren't cell phones. It was lighters. We'd hold lighters up in the sky, you know, for those moments and stuff like that. Maybe a flashlight, maybe some glow sticks. You know, like, we got to live in the moment. We got to enjoy every moment. And now I think we're so worried about every moment being picture perfect. We sit down to a meal. How many of you pick out your phone and take a picture of your food? So many of you are more worried about the presentation of your food than the nourishment, the quality, taste, the experience of the food overall. It's one thing to take a photo with your friends and family at an event. It's another thing to, like, treat every single moment as if it needs to be documented and photographed. Because if you're documenting, you're not living. And I think that's one of the issues that I have to grasp with myself being an adult. And then also being worried about, if I have kids one day, what their life is going to look like. Because I swear to God, I'm going to tell you right now, I am not going to be one of those parents that's going to be hawking a device in front of my kids and saying, just play with this, stop fucking with me. I want my kids to get the encouragement, the curiosity, and everything like that. If I want my kids to get away from me, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to hand them a Lego set. Because that's how my parents treated me. Baba, you're bothering me. Go play with your Legos. Go play with your trains. Build an entire town. Have an entire railroad run through it. Get curious. Have an imagination. I feel like a lot of these electronic devices now are killing a lot of the creativity and imagination kids have. When's the last time you've seen a kid just play with a box? How would you think about that? How often do you actually run into kids that are just like, building a fort, it's a time machine? You know, like all that kind of stuff. The things we grew up with, kids. We made our own games. I don't know where I'm going with this tangent. It's just one of those moments where I was like sitting back earlier on and just like, where are we going as a society? And I'm kind of in this weird situation of understanding that maybe having too much technology is a net negative for society. All right, so. But yeah, I'm really curious about where the world's going to end up, and I think it's just going to end up in the hell in a handbasket. Who knows? But, I'm really also... I'm trying to be upbeat about the possible TikTok ban, but I will be honest and say that, it's really been harsh in my vibe for the past... several months, really. Been building up to it. Because I started my content creation journey on TikTok. 370,000 people is where I'm at right now. I think I've had more than that. I think a lot of the accounts that were on TikTok have slowly been deleting themselves. Because, I don't know, there's just been this issue with TikTok for a while of people deleting their accounts, and there's bots and things like that, but who knows. Anyway, I've been working for quite a few months now to try to build up my YouTube platform, my Twitch, and everything like that. And, it's really, really hard to say. Like, I'm not trying to... Came from over from TikTok. I like it better here. Yeah. Partially because I make the better quality here and Twitch has more features. But it's still a hard hit to say I have 370K members in my TikTok. I've already been dealing with issues with TikTok algorithm, like suppressing a lot of my content, and kind of hard to get, you know, to see a lot of people to see my content and trying to get them to shift over. But at least with the media kit, I could actually show, hey, I got close to like almost 400,000 people combined. Majority's on TikTok over there. And I built this platform up for several years. Now, I know you shouldn't have your eggs all in one basket in terms of platforms. But the reality was, this was such a slow build-up, and there were so many other issues I had to, you know, get on top of before I could get comfortable to do this stuff. And it's still a huge heartbreak to be like, I built this platform for years, and now it's going to disappear overnight. But the part that hurts me more about this whole situation, it's not even the same thing as MySpace. Like, MySpace, okay, MySpace fell out of favor. We moved on to Facebook. That just naturally happened. But that happened because the market willed it. No one cared about being on Tila Tequila's top 8 anymore. Nobody cares about Tila Tequila anymore. But the TikTok ban irks me because it's the United States government coming in, fucking over a lot of Americans, saying, screw all of your economic situations and the economic ties that we have in all these businesses and individuals that are making income off of TikTok. We're going to screw all of you. And killing a lot of what I worked because they don't understand it. And for anyone out there that is like, well, I'm okay with the TikTok ban. Motherfucker, you don't even understand what we're even talking about half the shit. You're on the same level as these Supreme Court justices that were comparing it to buying a new t-shirt. Did y'all see that Supreme Court argument and everything there? I was listening for the couple hours because I was working from home that day. And my God, the Supreme Court of the United States of America, I was sitting there understanding that my coworker's 8-year-old son has better comprehension of how the internet fucking works than these old fucking geezers. There are so many people that, you know, are like, TikTok ban, you shouldn't have had all your content, you know, your content creation money in one basket. Well, for some of us, we haven't been able to translate properly. That's the reality of it. My YouTube content is only just starting to pick up after 3 months of experimentation and tinkering and all of that stuff, and it's still going to take time. I probably have another year or two more invested on YouTube to get to where I need to be. Twitch, who knows? Maybe I get lucky one day. I'm doing all right now, don't get me wrong. I love all of you. I'm thankful for any single viewer in Twitch and everything. But insofar as being able to displace the income that I could potentially lose from TikTok that I use to pay for the home labbing, the tinkering, the editor that does my editing and all that stuff, that's a hit. And I'm probably going to have to be putting my own money from my own personal bank account every month for probably the next foreseeable 6 months to a year until YouTube can start paying out properly. And that's a little bit of that hurts. And that hurts because I was looking at a potential profit in 6 to 12 months that I could actually use that to pay for the secondary insurance I'm looking at possibly needing to get to cover some of my medications if the appeal doesn't go through with the healthcare, coverage that I need for the different things that we're working on. I won't know anything about that until probably next week. It's just a whole bunch of cluster Fs. It's like, we don't get any help from our government at all. And then they wonder why we're so apathetic to Luigi gunning down a CEO in the middle of a public street. Oh, and, before you wonder, no, it's not Anthem, Blue Cross, Blue Shield, and whoever was the CEO that, of that company. But yeah, totally F the government. The honest truth is, I've had a view for a long time that I think that we should strip the salaries of all congressional and senatorial, Congress's representatives and senators, all congressional members, and let's peg them to a military enlisted rank of pay. So for those of you not familiar, the military has ranks of pay. This is what everyone gets paid across that board. Like you get a promotion, you get more, all that, So you can actually find the pay tables for all of these. Let me see. Basic pay. Is this it? Okay. So let's give them active duty pay. You can actually find these charts online. Okay? So let's say... Okay. Give them an E8 or E9 rank. Give them all the military benefits. I'm talking, let's give them TRICARE. Let's give them all the same goddamn military benefits. And that's for two reasons. One, I want them to live within the means of the average United States military member so they can understand how the average person lives. Because if we look at the E8 rank right there, that's close to what I get paid a month. That's pretty close. Maybe a little less. Even somewhere around there. Just give them somewhere on these ranks or anything like that. Hell, give them an officer rank, let's say, 05, 06. That's plenty money. Give them benefits to, like, military housing and shit like that, or vouchers or whatever. Give them the same benefits. And that's going to do two things. One, lower their pay. Two, treat our fucking military better. I'm really tired of this whole, like, good enough for me, but not the attitude when it comes to Congress and shit like that. Like, these motherfuckers are getting paid $250,000 a year. Do you know that? Did you know that? The average Senate member, what is it? I think they get paid, what is it? Close to $250,000. Congressional pay. The compensation for most senators, representatives, delegates, and the resident commissioner from Puerto Rico is $174,000. These levels have remained unchanged since 2009. Lovely. Cut their salary another $50K. That's what I'll say. There's your savings right there. But yeah, I am just so tired of what the government's getting us into and this whole mess and everything, and I still can't believe Asmongold crashed out, of all things, on Path of Exile 2. This also means I'm a better Path of Exile 2 player than Elon Musk! Ha ha! I'm better than you, Musk. Yeah. Oh, also, another thing I was also working on, so y'all remember when I made that video a few months ago, where I was talking about the Godot engine, and there was the whole Redo engine, and the Godot engine got a little bit too political and all that stuff? Well, it made me wake up to realize a few terms that were being thrown around a little bit too much. Maybe because I'm not chronically online, believe it or not. As a content creator that posts a lot online, I'm not online that much. I know, shocking, right? I go out, I touch grass. It's green. It feels nice between the toes. It tickles. But I keep seeing a lot of these, I'm gonna read the Blue Sky thread to break this down a little bit better, but I keep seeing a lot of these people, like, go after DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, I think it is what it stands for. Like, saying diversity is the reason why companies are failing, and I'm sitting here like, bro, no, that sounds more like an excuse of why you are failing. So I had this, like, entire thread. I'm planning a YouTube video to discuss DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion. From my perspective, no ETA at the moment. Recently, I've seen people blaming DEI for everything from workplace inefficiency to the downfall of society, and the narrative feels both uninformed and harmful. The loudest critics of DEI I've seen online tend to fall into three groups. Those who don't work in corporate environments, those who aren't great at their jobs, chronically online gamers who really need to touch some grass. DEI isn't the boogeyman it's made out to be. It's about creating workplaces that are fair, inclusive, and better for everyone. Most DEI initiatives barely address deeper systemic issues, yet they get unfairly blamed for, quote, ruining, end quote, things. The real problems in workplaces have nothing to do with DEI. Poor management, toxic culture, outdated systems. But some folks find it easier to scapegoat DEI rather than acknowledge these realities. I'll dive into why diverse perspectives are essential, especially in IT and cybersecurity. In fields like ours, solving complex problems often requires input from people with different life experiences. DEI helps make that possible. The video will also explore how this anti-DEI narrative became so popular and why it's dangerous. Hint, it's not about facts, it's about fear or change and clinging to old power structures. Let's set the record straight. DEI is not about exclusion or unfairness. It's about building better, more innovative teams that reflect the diverse world we live in. Yep. So I'm working on that topic eventually. I need to sit down and craft that out. I think that's probably going to be one of those videos I work on after I get the camera upgrade and everything like that. Because one thing I'm hoping to do is if I manage to swing my bonus this year, I should, for all intents and purposes. I want to get a new laptop. I want to get a new camera. I want to get an Elgato teleprompter. Get some better lighting up here. I need to get some, like, key lighting over here, because I don't know if you noticed, there's, like, a little bit of shadow this side of things. And then just get another one just to touch up a little bit. So I'm thinking getting 2 Elgato key lights over there, and just mount them on the wall. Maybe get a 4th monitor over there. Should be nice. But we'll work on getting into that, because one thing I run into very often in working in tech and everything is how much of a sausage fest it is. One of the things I love about the place that I work at is it's a very diverse place to work in. Men, women, black, white, you know, people of all sorts of colors and shapes. And, you know, like on my team, it's kind of funny when I have to say it this way. We have to hire a token white dude to be diverse in our team. That's the angle we have to go at. Because I'm just a white passing Moroccan, you know, Arab dude. Then we got a, like, straight up, you know, speaks Mandarin Chinese dude. Then we got a white dude. And then, like, you know, like, I think it's been great overall. And I've worked in too many shops that they're just all, like, straight white people. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, great people. But they just don't see the world in ways that it has many different shades. If these fucking white boys could learn some goddamn English, that would be a start. The reality is, I've noticed a lot of, like, the one thing that I've noticed as well is, like, circling back to the original point here with, like, the people blaming DEI and everything. The only people I've seen talk about DEI being this huge thing are people that don't work in corporate, People that are trying to make excuses for the fact they don't have a fucking job and they suck. Do you know how many times I've had to tell people straight up that, I mean, I don't have anyone in my circle that, you know, is that fucked, but I've had people I've run into talk about these kind of points, and I say straight up, like, dude, I'm technically on paper a DEI hire. Technically speaking. Because, technically speaking, I shit you not, my father's born in Morocco. That's North Africa. My mother is born in America. What does that make me? And this has been legally tested. I am classified as an African American, a white passing one. But by the true definition of fathers from Africa, mothers from America. And I have to tell these people all the time, like, look, straight up, if you're saying that DEI is the reason you're not getting the job, it's because we DEI hires are working to have 10 times the amount of knowledge you people think that you're just going to need for your job. We have to over-prepare for all this. You're competing against us. Okay, there was a time when the church got minimum seats at every institution. I don't think that's how it happened. DEI, I don't think was related to the Catholic Church in that regard. But anyway. Sorry, I was just responding to a message from somebody. But, yeah, like, when it comes to a lot of this whole, like, and the interesting thing is I was trying to find, like, any, like, scholarly, I guess you could say, person to, you know, give me the anti-DEI stance. All I could really find are a bunch of gamers. I really think we also have a problem with a lot of chronically online individuals, especially in the gamer community, that need to go out and touch grass and understand the world doesn't work the way they think it does. It shocks me how a lot of these people really think the way the world works. And I really think this is one of those things of, you know how, like, China banned kids from playing games for too long of a time? Let me phrase it this way. I understand where they're going at with that. I think it's a good idea. I don't think the government should do it. I think that's the job of the parents to do. I do think it's a very healthy thing to set a limit on how much game time that you have and how much time you actually go and socialize with people. And I think at a certain point, games shouldn't be your entire life. You should have a social circle. You should have the ability to go around and enjoy everything. But anyway, I am curious to see what games come out in the 2025 time frame. I know a lot of people are also hyped up about SteamOS being released. Apparently there's a new SteamOS version that's being released I didn't even know about. Because my understanding was there was SteamOS for years. Okay. Build your own Steam machine. Yeah, they do have it. So they do have their own. Both installations, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so I don't understand why, like, everyone's freaking out about, this is the old one with Debbie and Jesse. Where's the new one? I am curious. Some people have made some forks of it. But I honestly don't understand why people are like rushing to make a Steam OS system or anything like that, but if it gets them into gaming on Linux, that'll be better. I'm hoping that in a couple of years, Valve will have done enough work to have stopped kernel-level anti-cheat from being as much of an issue in gaming, because now that Valve is going to be listing games that are, you know, with kernel-level anti-cheat, that is going to make it a little bit harder for people to justify just installing games. We're not doing Linux because of copyright issues. We're doing FreeBSD because of its copyleft. Well, until you can get SteamOS, until you can get Steam working on there with Proton, and I can do the gaming, and then I can do all of my audio editing and my video editing and all the work that I actually do on a day-to-day to work on there, I'm not doing it. I keep FreeBSD relegated to my network devices. The only FreeBSD thing I use at work is Zscaler. Zscaler works on FreeBSD. At least the indexer tool from what I was playing with. Oh, Deception. Deception also works in FreeBSD. Well, here's the reality. It's open source. There's not much they can do to, like, really pull things out. They've tested a lot of that stuff, and the Free Software Conservancy's done a good job on a bunch of their licensing and things like that. So, I think it's much ado about nothing. Although, did you hear about how Microsoft, a Microsoft developer pretty much broke the Linux kernel in testing? That was kind of funny. So, I was watching, one of the Linux YouTubers talk about how apparently a Microsoft dev introduced an issue that caused the computer not to hibernate, and it had to do with the execute read-only option inside of x86 or something like that. It was really interesting to see how a Microsoft dev bungled all that up. But, also, you all did hear that with TikTok being banned, they're also looking at, what's the word? They labeled Tencent as military technology. Tencent. You know, Genshin Impact Tencent? Yeah, military technology. Is the US government thinking of banning Tencent? Because I don't know what to tell you, but if you go about banning games, you're about to give a bunch of gamers a reason to get out of their mom's couch. And I don't know if I need to tell y'all politicians this. You do not want those basement dwellers protesting Congress, because the collective smell of BO will make Saddam's mustard gas seem like Febreze. Yeah, the government might go after Discord too, because Chinese owns more than 20%. Wait, what about Facebook? How much does the Chinese own of Facebook? Of Meta? What about Twitter? Because you know Elon Musk had to go around and get loans from a bunch of people to actually pay for it, because he didn't foot the full $44 billion himself. Did China put any money in that? I know the Saudi family did. What about, shit, what else? You've got Discord. I doubt Twitch has anyone else other than AWS. Amazon in it, but yeah. Oh. Hold on. Tencent military. Let's ask China to buy 40% of Meta. Wait a minute. Doesn't China own 30% of the debt that the U.S. holds? So does that mean that the U.S. is not allowed to do business with the U.S. because they are Chinese owned? But yeah, so right here, U.S. Defense Department says that Tencent and other Chinese companies have ties to China's military. In recent years, Washington has sought to restrict sharing of advanced technology, including semiconductors and AI, deeming it to be a threat to national security. The U.S. Defense Department updates its list of Chinese military companies, or CMC list, annually. With the latest revision, it includes 134 companies. The National Defense Authorization Act of 2024 bans the Defense Department from dealing with the designated companies beginning in June 2026. Tencent's Hong Kong shares traded fell 7.3%, and the company said it would initiate a reconsideration process to correct this mistake. SIG talks with the U.S. Defense Department, and if needed, to take legal measures to get it removed from the list. Tencent is the world's largest video game company and operates Chinese mega messaging platform WeChat. Hold up. They own WeChat. I forgot about that. Is the U.S. government going to try to ban WeChat? That's a good question. As the company is neither a Chinese military company nor a military civil fusion contributor to the Chinese defense industrial base, it believes that its conclusion in CMC list is a mistake. Tencent cited an announcement to the Hong Kong Stock Exchange. You know, you gotta think that list goes through several different hands to get reviewed. How is it not one of these motherfuckers said, I got kids. That looks like a video game company that they work with. How did none of these fuckers, like, Tencent, what do they do? Genshin Impact, anime boobies. We know do business with them. Like, look how much they own Epic Games. So is Epic, a U.S. company? I'm just curious here. I think Epic is. Okay, so Epic Games, I'm just curious. So Epic Games is an American company. Okay, but Chinese ownership. Epic is 40 to 48% owned by Tencent. Oh. So about half. Yeah, that makes sense. U.S. isn't really Catholic. Yeah, no, they're not. The U.S. has really never really actually been Catholic, if you actually think about it. Knowing the history, there was the whole hullabaloo dispute when JFK became president, because he was like the first Catholic president. And there's this big hullabaloo about, well, what if the Pope tells JFK to do something? Like, it was a real concern. The USA was more of a Protestant nation originally on. I mean, they were founded on the whole idea of freedom of religion, but basically around the Protestants, the Puritans, and all that. The Catholics had Europe already. Yeah. Yeah, JFK was the first Catholic president. Also, managed to bag one of the most banging women in all of history, Marilyn Monroe. Like, let me put it this way. Marilyn Monroe is so banging that I've had a couple of ex-girlfriends that were so hung up on they're too fat. Okay? The amazing thing about Marilyn Monroe's body is that's all natural. Like, there wasn't plastic surgery for a lot of that shit. And I remember taking a photo of Marilyn and, like, putting it up to my girlfriend at the time. I've done this too at the time. And I said, do you realize Marilyn Monroe's just a little bit thicker than you? So quick complaint. Like, straight up. I really think body image is such a fucked idea of this generation because we're so fixated on Hollywood and now social media constantly feeding you what you should look like. And then you're having like Kylie Jenner, you know, with her fake ass and all these, you know, surgeries and all that saying, I did all this naturally. No, the fuck you didn't. But, yeah. So, yeah, Epic Games will be banned if the government get their way. I'm really waiting for, put that there. That'll work. I am really waiting for the landmine that Trump is going to step on. What I mean by that is there is so many different policies that he has promoted and proposed. And a lot of his own base hasn't paid attention to the knock-on effects of things. Here's the reality. Donald Trump pretty much set himself up for failure. We all know this. But they were all voting on the premise of our grocery bills are going to go down. That is a goal that, I mean, that is not a promise that he can really truly deliver on. Not unless, here's the thing. The issue that we have with inflation isn't inflation in the typical sense. It's more so greedflation. Companies are making record profits and shrinking sizes and raising prices, but making record profits. In order for him to make good on his promise, he would have to swing left, go against a bunch of these companies. And I'm not saying he would have to enact price controls, but there would have to be concessions, more or less, to control the growth in pricing and all of this, and that would get him in trouble with a lot of his potential donor friends. That's the reality. Some days I honestly sit back and I think that the United States as a whole probably can only fix itself once the society is completely destroyed. And that's the unfortunate thing I think about. But then I also realize, what's the average life expectancy of an empire? 250 years. Okay, let's do some math. It is 2025, right? We were founded in 1776. Well, technically 1776. 249 years, all right? We're getting close to that mark, but let's give us a little bit of leeway there. The Articles of Confederation were what, 1781? I think they were 81. Yeah, so let's see. Articles of Confederation. 81 to 89. Interesting fact about the United States. If I remember correctly, one of the first black presidents wasn't Barack Obama. It was actually one of the presidents under the Articles of Confederation. John Hanson. Had to look him up. Couldn't remember his name. He was from Liberia. But that was at least what I was taught. Was it? Yeah. Not much was real. But it's like one of those Articles of Confederation was a really weird time because there wasn't a really federal government that was actually, you know, controlling everything. The states had more power, and then Articles of Confederation were kind of a weird time. The America as we know it didn't happen till, was it, 1789, I think? That was in 1787. Yeah, 80. No, that's the convention. Hold on. U.S. Constitution. 1787, okay. So if we want to think about it, the United States, as we currently know it, as a federation, was formed 238 years ago. The average life expectancy of an empire is around 250 years. Yeah, we're about there. We might survive Trump, but we may not survive the damage he leaves us with. Why did that make us sound like we're just leaving a domestic violence situation? Oh, right. That's because he grabbed America by the pussy. But yeah, it'll be... So I have a question. The inauguration is on January 20th, right? I could stream the inauguration. What, the grabbed America by the pussy thing? That thing? Was that making me sound like him? No, thank you, Nicole. Do you think he could keep America's economy more stable than Harris, or... I think he'd keep it less stable. Here's the reason why. Trump has a problem with shooting his damn fucking mouth off. He managed to get us into several crises over tweets. He caused so much turmoil over Twitter messages. His late night, midnight dump tweets. When you know he's shitting on the toilet. When somebody needs to take his damn phone away from him. Donald Trump, and I am not saying this very lightly, has shown issues with mental competency for years. He is the old demented man he claimed Biden to be. Biden is an old demented man, don't get me wrong. But Trump is just as bad. Trump doesn't have a healthy diet. He doesn't really do all the things you should do to keep health. Now, there's a lot of people that have said a lot of things. Plus, the guy is literally saying he wants to put tariffs on Canada and Mexico. He wants to go to war with Greenland, make Canada the 51st state. Like, bro. The only times I've ever jokingly said about making Canada the 51st state, no joke, I was in Israel in college with my Canadian friends doing bong rips and telling them I would fuck them up so much that Canada would become the 51st state. This was a decade ago, okay? A decade ago. Not only that, Donald Trump wants to go to war with Canada. You know, the entire country that created the Geneva checklist. Please tell me you know about the checklist. We talked about this, I think, last stream. Ah! The camera. Wait a minute, hold on. I hit a button. I was like, why did the screen go black? I hit the power button. That's a real way to say fade to black. Please tell me the camera was on when I talked about doing bong rips in Canada. I mean, in Israel. So Canada's part of the British Commonwealth, basically the entire state. Yeah, well. Blame Canada. Blame Canada. They're not even a real country anyway. Please tell me you've seen that South Park movie. Please tell me. But yeah, I really don't have faith that Trump is going to keep the economy very stable, because the reality is, like, he's even trying to put... part of the reason why America is as powerful as an economic bloc as we are is several things. We are geographically isolated from a lot of our enemies. We are allies with our neighboring countries, that is Mexico and Canada. We are trading partners. We can move parts all across the three nations to get produce, automotives, all sorts of things built, delivered, and it's a win-win-win situation for all three of us. The problem is Donald Trump thinks in zero-sum games. He thinks if one person must be a winner, there has to always be a loser. He doesn't understand you can have win-win situations. I think in order for America to become an even greater country, we need less tariffs, not more. Tariffs only impart a tax upon the individuals that need to buy the item. Ultimately, Donald Trump is doing a lot of the things that are going to kill a lot of this nation. If you really want to understand how bad Donald Trump's policies are, I think it was Woodrow Wilson isolationism, if I was. Yeah, so... yeah, I think I'm trying to remember, where was... I was trying to remember... In college, we discussed the tariff and taxation policy of the isolationist administrations, and I'm trying to remember Woodrow Wilson tariff isolationism costs. Was that it? Ah, here we are. Okay, so it wasn't Woodrow Wilson. It was Warren G. Harding, I believe. Hold on. Yep, Warren G. Harding signed the Fordney-McCumber Act into law, which raised tariffs by about 25% and made it easier to enact them without congressional approval. In 1930, Congress also passed the Smoot-Hawley Act, which raised duties and tariffs significantly on over 20,000 products in all sectors of the economy. He's repeating pre-World War II American isolationism ideas. Do you realize that? Donald Trump is proposing the same damn tariffs that caused us to go from the Roaring 20s to the Great Depression. I just connected those dots in my head. I was like, yeah, wait a minute. I was like, yeah, 25%. Okay, upon taking office, President Harding implemented the emergency tariff of 1921, which imposed duties on over 24 food imports and agricultural products. Now, when was Calvin Coolidge? Yep. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. I thought so. I was like, Calvin Coolidge was like smack dab in the middle there in the Great Depression. I did like Calvin Coolidge's mentality, though, of it's better to stop bad laws than it is to pass good laws. And there is some math actually side him on that, because if you actually know how many bills actually make it through Congress, there's a lot of bad bills. It shocks a lot of people when I tell them, like, 10% of each bills at each step make it to the next step. You introduce a bill at subcommittee, 10% likelihood it makes it to committee. 10% likelihood it makes it out of committee to the floor. 10% chance that it makes it out of the floor vote to the other house. You know, like that kind of thing. It's really amazing when you actually look into the politics of things. Does it really show, by the way, that I did study political science in college? But yeah, anyway. Donald Trump, I think, isn't going to be able to make America great again. Unless he means return it to the Great Depression era of the Roaring 20s. Well, post-Roaring 20s. When did the Roaring 20s end? The Roaring 20s, oh, yeah, officially ended in 1929. But yeah. And then, what was it? We didn't get out of the Great Depression until alcohol prohibitions were repealed. Contrary to a lot of popular belief, it wasn't the World War II that actually caused us to get out of the Great Depression. It was a combination of, well, it helped play a role, but we were in wartime production, so a lot of the regular things weren't going around. It was more so when we had a return to normalcy and the breweries were reopening again. Because that's when things started to pick up and the baby boomer era started on all that shit. And then you had the GI Bill and everything there. Anyway, yeah. I wonder how many policies will actually get signed off on. So here's the thing. I'm trying to remember. I don't think the president needs approval from Congress anymore. La 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 la. Well, Congress clearly has. Okay, so la 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 la. So there's like several different things that kind of play into it. Into 232 claims, sponsor. We got the Trade Security Act, the Bicameral Congressional Trade Authority Act of 2019. Okay. So, it's complicated if he can actually implement tariffs. There's certain requirements, but I'm not a tariff expert on these kind of things. There's so much nuance around tariffs and what applies in this situation, and then you have these under Section 332 and all this and all that. I just know that straight up, yeah, like President-elect Trump has suggested that he will impose a wide range of tariffs when he takes office, including a blanket tariff of 10 to 20% on all imported goods, an additional tariff between 60 to and 100% on Chinese goods, a 100% tariff on countries within the BRICS alliance if they attempt to undermine the U.S. dollar status as a global reserve currency, and a 25% tariff on all products imported from Mexico and Canada. Notably, he wants to impose at least some of those tariffs on day one. Yeah, we're in for a shit show. So, we going with torches and pitchforks? Right around landing on the moon is a good time. Let's go by to the Dust Bowl. Pretty much. Yeah, I really don't see long-term, how this is going to really work out for Trump. But, yeah. Anyway, it's getting a little late. I got work tomorrow. Thanks for hanging out with thanks for hanging out with me, all of you guys. And if you haven't already, make sure to follow me. I would say to follow me on TikTok, but that's probably gonna get banned soon. But if you can follow me there, I just may not be posting soon. So follow me on Mastodon, Blue Sky. I gotta remove that Threads line. I'm gonna add Shuao Huangshu on there. I am on Red Note. Make sure to follow me on YouTube and follow me on Twitch if you haven't already. Follow me on PixelFed. Join the Discord! Join the Discord. Join the Matrix. We have a great community. We're getting close to, I think, where are we at? Oh shit, we're almost at 900 humans in the Discord. Almost at 900 people. That's amazing. So, yeah. Come join us. Hang out. Tech, cybersecurity, gaming, all those different fun things. And of course, follow me on all the socials. I love y'all. Stick around for the raid if you're on Twitch. I'll be raiding out in a second here. And I'll see y'all Sunday. Let me know in the Discord, though, if you would be interested in seeing if we can stream the inauguration together. I am having PTO that day. I was just going to be cleaning my workspace and stuff like that, so we can totally crack open some wine together and do some ugly crying together. The downfall of this country. But love y'all. Happy hacking. See you next time. Stick around for the raid.